three sides.
I'm just gonna let that
Thank you.
continue to call. Well, I'm always afraid that he's going to I'm going to add you, and then it just gonna end the show that's going on.
No, I get that.
Yeah, we don't want that at all.
No.
Yeah, I don't want him to go to
Screwjob next
countdown.
time, freaking guy.
I don't want to go down to the countdown, be like 5 minutes,
And there's just
and then
Dylan
all of
next.
us just fucking doing something,
Hey,
not paying attention.
I can be like Joe Hendry up in this place, right? Just people say my name and I appear.
God, that's terrifying.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk about that too. Welcome to PURR Sessions, guys. I am your host, Big Cat Tyler Adams. I am here with my tag team partner. Sorry, Sam. Three-time tag team champions. The tag team champions, the Wild Dylan Nix, and of course, former tag team champion on the bottom, Samuel Matthews. How's it going? Perry, I see you in the background, right, buddy. Now. I'll get with you in just a minute, buddy. We're waiting on Levi.
Now that I'm in my safe house, or I would do something about this. Okay. I'm currently on the run. That's why I have a different backdrop. I'm in my safe house at an undisclosed location.
I have to ask, dude, is that your childhood bedroom?
No.
Okay.
No.
Sorry, no. Don't mind me. I'm just calling Levi in the background, trying to figure out if he.
Yeah, last week that guy.
Hold on. Oh, he ended the call. So he's probably like, oh shit!
I just realized what time it was.
Yeah, it can happen to anybody.
While we're waiting on Levi, let me throw this out really quick. Perry Von Vicious is in the backstage. So let's get this over with really quick. This weekend you can see all three of us besides Levi because he's in Colorado. You can see all three of us in Dover-Foxcroft, Maine for the Whoopie Pie Festival. Primos is also doing this weekend on Sunday, as well as Limitless Wrestling. And at the end of the month, we have Maine Premier Wrestling in Fairfield. That's Friday. We will be defending our tag team championship against
Third City Murder Crew.
Yes, there you go. Thank you. I think Perry's going to be in that show too. Is Perry on that show?
Mm-hmm.
He is? Okay, so Perry will be defending his title as well.
He's defending his title. Yes, he is, sir.
So we got that.
I took another sip.
July is too far away. We won't be worrying about July right now. We got that. These are all the dates for June for the promos. I had was going to do this for Levi. Primos.
It's an I, not a no, cat.
We already know you can't spell.
I can't spell and I can't read.
Unsafe worker.
Trust me, it was a lot worse. Hey, there's Levi. Trust me, it was way worse when I was younger. A lot younger, as in like 5 years ago. So yeah, these are the dates that we got.
Still here.
To 23rd, 30th for Levi. Hopefully he's booked on one of those. If not that, we got Limitless Wrestling, like I said, Sunday. Excited for that, and of course,
it's gonna be a banger.
It is gonna be a banger.
Yo. I gotta say, for Sunday, man, I'm really excited. Sam's coming, my lovely significant other. And
not me.
She says, no, not him, my girlfriend. And she says she's excited. The one match she's really excited for. She's excited for two. She loves Gabby, so she wants to see Gabby again.
My wife loves Gabby too.
Yeah. And she really wants to see Dad and Uncle Aiden be pissed at each other.
I was so looking forward to the show, but then found out my wife is working, so I'm probably not going to be there tomorrow. So I don't know. I'm so pissed.
Bring the kids.
I might do that. I might see if I can just bring them in for setup, so I don't have to pay them.
Yeah,
put them to work. Go pick up that stuff.
Pick up that ring post. Pick it up.
Oh my gosh, he would try it too. Adam would definitely try it.
Larry yelling at him.
Speaking of that, I apologize if I do have to go like in and out. It is currently, I don't know, 80 degrees in Maine right now. It's not as bad as the last 2 days. But because of how my house is set up, I don't have a big enough AC, so we're in the living room. So I might get too loud and wake up my kids by accident, so I'll have to go tend to them. But just a little head. MBW, we're doing a live audience per sessions for the VIP members. It'll be
Gonna be exciting.
That is the wrong time. It's actually 4:30 to 5:30. I don't know why I have the old one there. And then of course we have VLC in Lewiston.
Boom.
That'd be awesome. That's
That's
gonna be a wicked cool, kid.
Yeah, we are sponsoring them as well as MPW. So you should be seeing some awesome guests before VLC. I'm in the works of seeing like who's available and stuff. So stay tuned for that. And Levi's still gone, but I will introduce our guest. He is the human monster truck, Perry Von Vicious.
Hey!
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for coming.
Did I pick the right one? No, that's for
some reason. Big Cat's breaking things.
No, it's for some reason the squares look weird this time, don't they?
No,
they look like squares.
Okay, well, it seems like it was a lot more space.
Did you want the Brady Bunch and you be in the middle? Is that what you wanted?
No, just kidding.
I'll take the handsome man in the Japanese sweatshirt to t-shirt to block Alex.
Yeah. Oh, is that William Osprey? I can't see. Where your t-shirt
on mine?
Yes.
No, this is Kodai Nozaki from Kyushu Pro.
I was gonna say I couldn't really see it. That's awesome. Well, thank you again for coming. We're very excited for you to be on. We were all stoked when you said that you were available to be on, and of course, Levi. There's Levi. So that's what you were doing. You were getting food.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Running late and doing a bunch of stuff today. So
I just need to address one thing. I am still offended by your macaroni and cheese. Okay. It is still a absolute sin.
Perry, if you didn't know from last week where we had Ethan Scott on, Levi was eating Kraft mac and cheese, and there's the microwave Easy Mac version, and it was basically soup.
Come on.
It's a
you gotta
learn.
Look,
you gotta get that water ratio right.
Does that make it better? I just downed 2 burritos within the span of like 5 minutes. I didn't even get my stinger this time. He made a whole stinger for me, and I didn't even get
You got it, buddy. I haven't started yet.
Yeah,
we're gonna hit that stinger right now. Let's just interview questions with Levi Spade.
I think this is fake. You think it's fake? What's that?
Interview questions with Levi Spade.
You think it's fake? You come like easy. What do you mean?
Yeah, that's.
You can't tell if Nick just died in his seat, or
yeah, I think he did.
He just evaporated.
This is your segment, Levi. Go for it.
Welcome, Barry. Glad to see that you made it on. He texted me about finding the link because somebody didn't send it to him.
I was kidding. I didn't want to send it to him and have him sit in the background for 45 minutes waiting. He already waited long enough for you to get on.
Oh yeah. So welcome. This is our interview segment. We do for about 20 to 25 minutes. I start off with 11 semi-quick fire questions, and then we kind of break it down more as like time goes on. But as always, I always started off with having you introduce yourself. I know Kat kind of gave you an introduction, but what would you like people to know if they don't know who you are?
Sure. I'm Perry Von Vicious, the human monster truck. It took me a long time to realize that was exactly who I was in pro wrestling, but a lifelong love of monster trucks seemed to cross over just enough. I'm about 16 and a half years into the business at this point, and doing some of my best work now, just having a great time and kind of enjoying constantly working. I just got back from we'll talk about it, I'm sure, but a tour of Japan at the end of this past year, and yeah, looking forward to seeing what comes next.
Yeah, that was you've only done one tour, right? I forgot to look into that. You've done the one tour of Japan? Okay.
Just the one.
That was with Rip, right?
Say again?
Was that with Rip, or did you do
we did. We went over at the same time, yeah.
So question one is kind of the most basic one. What started you off? I know you just said that it took you a while to figure out who exactly you were, but what started you off? What got you into wrestling? When did you start watching or training? Whichever, whatever it was that started it.
So there's really sort of two answers with that. The first is the first time I ever saw wrestling that really kind of captured me in. Like the first time I was horrified by what I saw, and it was Earthquake sitting on Jake the Snake's snake. I was a little kid, saw that at a cousin's house. It terrified the life out of me.
I remember that. I do remember
didn't
that.
see any wrestling again for a very long time. And then my brother got a Sega Genesis when they were fairly new, within the first year of being out. And shortly thereafter, those same cousins gifted us a bunch of the games they didn't play anymore. And we got Monday Night Raw for the Sega Genesis. And we were obsessed immediately. And it was right around the time that the school year started that year that we started watching. And then as far as when I knew I was like, I want to give this a shot. I want to try at this. There's sort of like a longer story with it, but more or less it was Triple H's return in 2002. I was a senior in high school because I'm an old man, and it was just the best. It was the first time that I ever started picking up weights, like seriously, because like I was just so pumped by what he was doing. And the whole time I was in college, in the back of my head, I'm just going like, I'm going to try this after. What things can I focus on here that might help me out with that? And truth be told, almost nothing.
So it's funny you say that, because I see on like Reddit all the time, there's like different like pages for people who, want to help other people with wrestling. And there's so many young people on there who are like, hey, what can help me get ready to wrestle? I want to do this in a year. And it's just, there's nothing that can really prepare you for pro wrestling.
It's the old adage. There's no one answer, really.
Yeah, like I was an English major. I did a ton of theater, and I'm sure all of that helped in some way or another. But yeah, when push came to shove, no, I was completely unprepared when I went and started training.
It was just like, Kat, you booted that one up, right?
I was gonna say, yeah. I've just realized I was muted, but yeah, this is the stipulation turn.
Sorry, I get hyped at this one still.
That was enough before the
ever.
stream gets thrown down.
Yeah,
Just
one of the
like
craziest pops.
I want to flip the table right now.
No.
I love the story behind this moment too, because he went into depth about it. That he was terrified that he would get a good enough reaction of coming back. He thought that, because so much time has passed, that maybe nobody cared that he was gone. And this is like one of the biggest pops in like WWE history.
Yeah,
like, one of the biggest. I think him and Cena, and Cena coming back at the Rumble.
Cody had a crazy pop.
Cody had a crazy one. Edge had a crazy one. Punk.
An underrated one was Taz's debut at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, yep. But I still feel like out of all those, I think Triple H is probably like the number one when he returned, like the biggest pop of the industry. All right, YouTube, that's enough. I'm sorry. Please don't get at me.
I miss JR, man.
Oh, me too. They don't use him good for AEW, but I also understand that he has a lot of health problems.
Yeah.
So he can't really do what he could do back then.
So moving on, we'll jump down to question 2 for you, Perry. Who is your favorite of all time, and who is your biggest inspiration? A lot of these kind of end up being double questions, but
Greatest of all time is, I mean, it's so hard to pick because, wrestlers, it's like asking someone like their favorite musician of all time. So many people fall in different genres and have different specialties, like you could easily say Flair for in terms of, storytelling in a match. You could throw someone out there like Undertaker for maintaining an aura and a character. Even like more modern, you could throw out someone like Ricochet for athleticism. Like there's all kinds of great answers. Um, I think for me, it changes all the time. So I'll say that it changes constantly, but it might be Vader. Like there's something about a big man who protected his size the way he did, but was still like deceptively fast and like crazy strong and acrobatic, and like just he was, for all intents and purposes, because he obviously had a short time when he was baby bull Leon White, but like that was before he had broken. For all intents and purposes, he was always Vader. It was one
Right.
character throughout his career, and it was so iconic. Like that mask, the gear, the gear was always very slight variations on the same look.
Yeah.
And he never had to change it. He was just always intimidating. And in a lot of ways, I feel like Sid is like the same thing for me. Sid was basically always the same look and same character. Very, very slight variance within it, and just people went nuts for the guy. So like those two may be my top two.
No, I remember Vader in WCW debuting and the coming out with the helmet and the smoke and the fire. And it's like I was 9-10 years old, maybe younger than that, and I remember watching and going, "What am I watching? This is Star Wars."
Yeah. he had great debuts everywhere he debuted.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
his debut in Japan, Inoki was going on something like 12 years undefeated. Vader beat him in 2 minutes, just demolished him, and they it was the last time they were able to run the sumo hall for a number of years because the fans rioted. They lit the sumo pads
Wow.
on fire and were throwing them at the ring, and police had to shut the building down.
Dang, I never knew that actually. That's
Yeah,
wild.
hell of a debut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's make it a
Did he, like-
splash.
Didn't he like actually almost kill Gorilla Monsoon when he debuted in WWF? Am I thinking of another show? It was somewhere around there. Right?
So it wasn't his debut. It was shortly thereafter, but yeah, he wound up feuding with Gorilla Monsoon. Didn't nearly kill him. That was all a work, but it
Yeah,
was
well,
terrifying when you're a kid and you only know Gorilla Monsoon as the president of WWE at the time. And then Vader comes out, and I was a kid. I didn't really even know that Gorilla Monsoon had been a wrestler, let alone a wrestler who was basically the same thing as Vader. And so all I saw was this older dude in a suit getting just messed up by Vader. Yeah. That deceptive speed that he goes in there with is just crazy. Like you look at
it's
him and you
super
don't expect him to
explosive.
move. Yeah.
It's so explosive. His just
And like even that, like you can see that he did it safely, but like it's still like the fact that he could hit a move like that everyone uses as a transition move now. But he hit that and it was world ending. That's a guy who protected his size,
Yeah.
even though he did throw moonsaults. It didn't take anything away from his size.
Yeah. That's another one of those like, oh my god, he just did that.
every
Yeah.
time.
So jumping on down to question 3. This is another kind of one of them two-parters. I've got it written down as dream match. So I always start off with like, if you could choose any two to see in the ring together at any point in their career, who would you be? Like I threw out for Ethan, who was on the pod last week. I threw out like one of my dream matches I could see like would be LA Knight and Stone Cold in his prime in a feud, because I feel like that would have been absolutely amazing. So that's kind of the start. And then for you as a wrestler, what is like your dream match if you could face anybody in the ring, whether they're modern or like back from the dead in their prime kind of thing? Who would you have loved to or would love to see yourself across the squared circle with?
So for a dream match to watch, I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna pick two because they are way different from each other. The first one it would have to be in All Japan, and it would be Prime Vader and Prime Doctor Death. Because this will shock you, that match never happened anywhere at any era,
Oh my god.
and that
How
breaks
did that
my
never
heart.
happen?
Right?
That
It
would be a
seems like
match.
such an
That's money.
It seems like such an obvious choice, and they were both there at the same time. They were in
Yeah.
tag stuff opposite each other, but never a singles.
Sorry guys, I gotta load up
Um,
2K 24. Just a minute.
I got to simulate something real quick. We're gonna run Fire Pro. Hold on.
I'll be right back.
But
Matt
that's
actually left. Okay.
that's my like serious. I would sit down and study this match.
Yeah.
I also have a match that is just something I'm desperate to see and watch. It's a tag match. I want Mecha Mummy and Kikutaro versus Ken the Box and Danhausen. To me,
Okay.
that's the comedy match of a lifetime. And when you make it a tag, it takes away some of like what each guy is not great at can be like hidden. And you can have nothing but great shtick and great antics. I think that would be amazing. As for a dream opponent for me, honestly, it might be like in his prime Spike Dudley. I love an underdog babyface. I love a smaller guy that's willing to just do whatever. And I think even if it was babyface, I think we could have a really fun match and tell a really cool story. And plus, I'd be able to get all my shit in.
Could you imagine Perry go round to Spike
I
Dudley?
was just thinking the same thing. I can't.
Does he still wrestle?
I think he does actually.
Yeah, I think he still wrestles. We gotta make that happen.
He's not taking the bumps he used to.
Yeah. But I think Kat and I had the same idea at the same time because we kind of looked at each other on the screen and went, because I think we both had the image of you picking him up and just like.
There was a brief time. There was a brief time in my head where I was thinking, like, man, Ike the Bite could be my Spike Dudley.
Yes.
And then I just never see him anymore. So
he'll be at the Whoopie Pie Festival tomorrow.
Oh.
Well, who knows? I might have to interject in his match. Just get something started.
just for the Perry go round. That's all I want to say.
It's a Whoopie Pie Festival. What are they going to do? Fire me?
You don't get any whoopie pies tomorrow, Perry.
Is that what we're getting paid in? Is whoopie pies?
I'm okay with it.
I'm not complaining. I was going to say I'm not complaining.
Actually,
whoopie pie and a handshake.
I got a side segue for just half a second on that thought. There was a guy that came on the boat today. First of all, it was Maverick. He looked exactly like Maverick. It was freaky. But I got to chat with him, and I was like, yeah, he's like, asked me kind of what I do. And I'm like, we're talking, and I mentioned, hey, I wrestle on the weekends. He's like, oh, that's really cool. What are you doing this weekend? I'm like, oh, I'm working at a Whoopie Pie Festival. And he looks at me and goes, what's a Whoopie Pie? And it's never dawned on me, living in New England all my life, that no one has a clue what a Whoopie Pie is.
Dude, my dad literally went out when I moved out here. My dad went out and bought like I think 25 Whoopie Pies or some shit and packed them all in a bag and brought them out here for my family to try, my girls, my girl, and my stepkids to try, because he was like, they have never had a Whoopie Pie because it's not a thing. That's like when you travel further out. It's like knock my mic over.
Wow, you sounded a lot better when it closer to your face.
Well, the problem is that it's on my desk and it's got an extendable arm, but its attachment is not very stable. So
okay.
I'm afraid to extend it out and have it fall over.
You don't want to end up and bend over for 3 hours for a podcast?
Yeah, not particularly. Moving on to question 4. What is the worst bump you have ever seen and the worst bump that you have ever taken?
I just want to say that comment. Fuck you.
Oh,
anyways,
man.
Go ahead, Barry.
Worst bump I've ever seen was a fella. Some of you guys may have met him before he moved away. He had moved off before I came back, but we started out here together. A kid named Shane Marvel. Really early on. Tall, skinny kid. Because he was a tall, skinny kid, and he was good, but only in some respects. You know, like he was reliable. He moved well, but every once in a while you'd see him do something. You just go, oh, don't do that. Why would you? Ooh.
Nowadays.
So we were in a 6. Or I wasn't even in the match. That's right. Wow. I was watching backstage on a monitor. It was early, one of the earliest times I ever had a monitor backstage. This is early 2009 EWA show in Western Mass. And there's a tag match going on, and it's a 6-person tag. It's Shane Marvel, a girl wrestler who's long gone, whose gimmick name I don't recall, and Kevin Landry, who, if you ever met or saw Kevin Landry, he's 1,000,000 pounds of just steroid giganticness. He was my head trainer. Allegedly my head trainer. He owned the school. But it was those 3 against 3 other people. It's irrelevant who else was on the team. We all watched Shane Marvel go to the second rope and leap off to miss a leg drop. And on his way down, he got scared and his arms both straight down to brace for the fall. Right before he went out, he asked me, as I was putting on some wrist tape, he said, "Does that actually give your wrists any support?" And I said, "No. It's aesthetic, man. It's a look. It doesn't do anything for you. Not unless you put like 10 layers of it, and even then." And he goes, "Oh, okay," and just walks away. Stuck both his hands down, and immediately we all knew something was wrong, but we couldn't tell what. And he's laying on his back with both of his arms kind of like this, T-Rexing, and he squirms on his back to his team, and then kind of freezes looking at his hands, and then reaches one up. And we all at that point go, oh, he broke his wrist. We didn't realize he had broken both of his wrists.
Jesus.
He reached one out, whichever one seemed less broken to him, I guess. And Kevin, the giant muscle dude, puts his arm up in the air to make the tag, big exaggerated tag, and then looks down and sees it and freezes. And the girl sees him freeze and goes, whack, and tags herself in. And then he disappears off the screen, and we're all sitting in the locker room going, where'd he go? Oh, this, yeah, I was going to say, this may be on my YouTube. Yeah, this is on my YouTube. I forgot.
Oh no.
Ready?
Oh no.
There it was.
No. I hate it.
Yep. Nope, not good.
Oh, good.
Yep,
Another
nope,
angle of it. That's even better. This is why we don't put our hands down.
Oh, this is why we don't reach kids.
Ow.
Oh, she fucking
slapped him.
Oh.
Dang.
So, what happens right after that you don't see is we're all in the locker room, and he has disappeared off the camera, and we're going, where'd he go? Did anyone see where he went? And at the locker room door, we start hearing this like jingling, jangling, thunking noise. What the hell is going? We go over. We had to open the door because he couldn't open the door because he couldn't grip anything or move any fingers. It was just terrible. His car sat at the venue for a month because he couldn't go back and drive it. He was in casts that immobilized his arms from the elbow to the thumb. So that's probably the worst bump I've ever seen in person. The worst bump I ever took, some of you were probably present for it. It was during the Road tapings, Road Season 2 tapings.
Okay.
While the world was shut down for Limitless. The match was me and Rip Bison. For those who were there for the tapings, there was like, I think 80-something matches filmed in those 2 days.
Yeah, it was a
crazy amount.
Yeah, we had been there the whole day before, filmed all day, been working all day, went back, crashed at Danger Kid's house and got, 3 hours of sleep probably. Woke up the next morning, straight to the venue, and Randy tells me and Rip that we are on first.
Ooh.
So at 9:30 in the morning, he and I go to wrestle, and I went for a tope con hilo on Rip, and he was not really there to catch me. He was, I don't know what kind of ups he thought I had all of a sudden, but if anyone knows my abilities in the ring, it's Rip Bison. Suddenly he thought I was Sami Zayn because he was way too far out. And he goes to scooch in underneath me for the catch, and more or less gave me a 8 or 9 foot power bomb on the bare floor at 9:30 in the morning after 3 hours of sleep, having wrestled 3 times the day before, and those being my only 3 matches in 7 months because the world had been shut down. So your bump callus is gone. I had put on a bunch of muscle during shutdown because I had nothing else to do. So I was a bit heavier than I had been. And man, if you think of the sound you would imagine, that's a combination smack and thud of a 230-pound slab of chicken breast falling off of the counter and whacking the floor. That's the sound I heard in my head.
Oh, good.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
yeah. That's a rough 9:30 in the morning. I hadn't had coffee yet.
Oh, that's even worse.
The camera doesn't even do the sound justice because you can still hear you slap the floor.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
The worst part of that clip is my hair. It's in a terrible in-between state from when I had short hair to when I let it go again. It got this weird mop top on my head. It looked like just terrible.
When it comes to, I do have to admit though, when it comes to like bad sounds of meat slapping floors, Levi and I can attest to something like that. When MSP gave us the suplexes on the concrete.
The concrete bump was definitely.
Have you seen that, Perry?
I have.
Yeah.
I think it was Johnny Torres showed me that clip.
I was gonna say, I feel like at this point everybody has
specifically told me to make sure my sound was on.
Oh yeah. At this point, I feel like everybody's seen the concrete.
I gotta bring it back up
now. Well, while he's doing that, I'll ask you the next question.
Sure.
So I know that you've had a tour in Japan. So this question Japan would technically be the answer, but the question itself is longest distance ever driven or ridden for a show. So excluding Japan, because technically that would be the longest you've ever gone for a show. But
unless I was flying the plane, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
So I think my record it was about 38 hours one way, and that was to Austin, Texas. But yeah, I've done from Massachusetts. I've done the drives to Austin, Texas, to New Orleans, Louisiana, to Chicago, to Nova Scotia, Delaware, and everywhere in between. When I lived on the West Coast, my longest drives were I lived in the Bay Area, so San Francisco, Oakland. We did the drive to Portland. We did the drive to Reno, and we did the drives to LA, San Diego, and to I want to say was it Phoenix? No, it was Tucson, Arizona. Mm-hmm. So those are the longest drives I had done out on the West Coast. But yeah, 36 or 38 hours one way was probably I spent the entirety of, gosh, it would have been my 35th birthday. The entirety of my 35th birthday in a car with Rip Bison and Delmi Exo from midnight past the following midnight. Mm-hmm. I had a birthday cake flavored protein bar to celebrate. There's somewhere buried on my Instagram. There's a picture of the 3 of us with birthday cake flavored Quest bars in the car. That was the drive to Texas. It was. We left on a Wednesday, late on a Wednesday, and we arrived shortly before our show on Friday night. Oof. It was something else.
Excuse me. That sounds about right. I just recently moved out to Colorado in February, so I definitely I understand that drive.
Yeah, I think like 4 hours is like the longest I've gotten so far. It's like I haven't done anything crazy. But then again, I haven't done those crazy car rides where you pick up 3-4 shows for a weekend and you just drive from state to state and again then work your way back. I haven't done anything like that yet.
We had a multi-show loop in New Orleans, and on the way we had to pick up Dr. Redacted in New York. We picked up Johnny Torres in Connecticut, and then as we went a little bit further, there was another guy, I don't even remember who it was at this point, that we picked up in Jersey. So yeah, we've done 4 hours just to pick someone up on the way to the rest of the drive.
Yeah, if I get to count Colorado, then it's the farthest I've ever driven for a show. Because technically, I did drive out here, and I do work out here now. So technically,
No.
I'm so
Not
sorry.
allowing it.
then as we discussed last week, grind is the farthest grind's the longest I've ever driven for a show.
Jersey's still mine.
Here it comes. Uh-oh.
I love reliving. Oh, at least I had my good gear at this point.
I told Jossie we were slightly off timed, so he had to grab me to pull. I was like, "Whoa, go, whoa!" Then I was like,
I
"No,
thought
no."
I was still in my crappy gear at this point. I didn't realize I
No,
had my
we had the
gear.
good gear at this point. We just didn't have we weren't rocking the purple.
For some reason, I always think that we took that bump our first match in Let's.
Nope.
That's still not the stupidest bump I've seen on that floor, though.
Nope.
Nothing can beat JP versus fucking what's his face. I can't even remember his name. Fucking Ryan. Was it Ryan? I
You gotta
can't remember.
be more specific. You know how many people.
Oh my
JP
fuck! I
faced
can't
in
remember
that-
Mr.
that
Mr.
venue.
Canada, where they took
Ricky.
the Ricky Ryan. Leave me alone. Where he took the attitude adjustment off the top rope onto the tables
Yeah, I remember that.
bar and the
Oh,
pipe.
I was gonna say I think the worst bump I've ever
pipes,
seen in that
whatever the-
venue was McCarthy and Dad versus MSP for the titles in the hardcore match where they went through the TV that was stacked on the table
my TV.
and they hit the floor. Yeah, that's probably the worst bump I have seen in that venue.
That was gross, but nothing compared to that one where
I mean, let's not forget in that same match the bump Greenleaf took.
That was
True.
a bump.
that was
a murder.
terrible. That was straight up oak plank that he took to the face. It looked like.
It was pine.
All right. On to, so we're not keeping Perry all night here. What is your favorite wrestling move and then your favorite wrestling finisher? So something that I know a lot of finishers have kind of become just transitional moves, but favorite wrestling move and then favorite wrestling finisher.
Was that a dig on me? I couldn't tell.
No, it's just like when I answered this question, when we had the discussion about the questions, my favorite move is an arm drag. I love a good arm drag.
Do it well enough, it's your finish.
Not the world's strongest.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't book it, but
Oh shit.
let's see. Favorite move that's not a finish, or at least when it not being used as a finish, because I mean, I suppose any move can be a finish. Favorite move not being used as a finish is power bomb. Specifically jackknife power bomb, like I think some of you have taken from me, but at least all of you have seen me do.
I got out of
I'm
it.
thinking
I moved across the
Dylan may have
country and got
taken
out
it
of
from
it.
me, and if he hasn't, he's due.
I took a merry-go-round. I don't think I took a power bomb.
Okay.
We have
A nice jackknife power bomb. I really like. I think there's something, the snap power bombs or the sit outs, they have their place, but to me that launch and that float on their way down, there's something just so like it's a statement mid match. I think it's really cool.
Can I say
my
you
favorite.
do that for the merry-go-round too? When I took it, like you got me up, you spun me a couple times, you let me go, and literally you let me go, and I'm sitting there in midair, like floating, like when am I gonna hit the mat?
There is
I'm the
ground.
first person to say that to me.
Sadly, we haven't gone face to face in a ring yet. Dude,
Oh, it'll happen.
I think the parry around on Big Cat would be fucking bananas, just like Jason when you did it to Jason Maverick. That was crazy. I still
Yeah,
can't find that fucking clip though. I've been trying to find it with you giving it to Jason Maverick. It was great. Everybody in the locker room was going like, "Oh my god, Perry's got him on the shoulders! Holy shit!"
The match is up in its entirety on my YouTube.
Oh, it is. I'm gonna find it.
And spoiler, that move comes right at the end.
You did your finish. You didn't pull an AEW and did your finish, and somebody kicked out of it and then did a roll up.
I'll say this: no one, since the Perry-go-round has become my finish, no one has kicked out of it. It's either been the finish, or I've landed it and they've rolled out of the ring and I couldn't get them, or I couldn't get a cover, or their foot got on the rope before the 3 count. That was the move in Japan when the one time I did a Perry-go-round and it wasn't the finish. It was against the champion Kodai, and he got his foot on the rope before a 3.
Wow! How did they love
that
it?
Was
How did they love it in Japan? The Perry-go-round.
Oh, the first time I did it, I hit it on this British wrestler who was over there. This kid Ripper Reed, who is fantastic and a great guy. Hit it on him, and when we were coming through the curtain, Tajiri was waiting for me, and he just says, "You must do that move every match." And I said, "Yeah," and he goes, "Is that your finish?" And I said, "Yeah," and he goes, "Do you have a name for it?" And I paused because I'm thinking, like, boy, I hope this translates. I call it the Perry-go-round, and his eyes. And he goes running up to the whole crew of the guys. He goes, "He calls it the Perry-go-round," and they're all marking out for it because they all got the merry-go-round is still what the ride is called in Japan. And so they all got the joke immediately.
That's awesome.
And yeah, sure enough, every match after that, if I was up, it was with the Perry-go-round, and if I wasn't up, they had me hit the Perry-go-round on like someone who wasn't legal, or I'd hit it in the middle of waterfalls so I could turn to the next person and take something. They were like, every night we want the audience to see that move. And by the time we came back, I think I'd hit it on almost every member of the roster.
Nice.
I just love the sentence of "I got through the curtain and Tajiri was waiting for me."
Yeah.
Like, what a sentence.
It was very intimidating because I was like this. It was our second show there, and the first show that was like a real show. Like the first show was like a festival show, and then this was like 1,500 people in a proper arena with lighting and cameras everywhere. And came back through the curtain, and the head trainer is waiting for me. Head trainer who I've only known personally for a week and a half.
It's like when we walked in the curtain, Ben's just sitting there glaring at us like,
shit.
But to say my favorite move is a finish, I love chin music. I think a super kick is a finish. Absolutely rules. Comes out of nowhere. You can hit it on anybody. That's from the wrestler perspective. From the fan perspective, I mean, what kid, when Shawn Michaels was on top of the world, wasn't running around super kicking everything that they could?
Everything.
Oh, yeah. The number of snowmen my brother and I built explicitly so we could super kick the heads off. I couldn't fathom a count. Those are my simple answers.
And I think it's that Ned Flanders meme where it's Ned. He's not supposed to be super kicking, but it's like he's super kicking Maud off the top of the thing where she passes away because she got the hot dogs. It just says Shawn Michaels.
Moving on. Favorite entrance music, whether it's indie, professional, whatever it is. What is the favorite? What is that song that you hear and you're like, holy shit?
Man, that's a tough one. I'll say for like major like wrestling moments and like just like absolute hair comes up on your arm, WWE larger than life kind of stuff. when you hear The Rock shout, "Do you smell what the?" and it's so loud, like, I mean, that's and the fact that it became such an infrequent thing, like after his run, when the comebacks were so infrequent, it was like many years in between his returns. When it would finally happen and he would come back, it was just like, oh no, it's happening. That's probably for like major companies. Indies, man, I got a huge soft spot for Olay by the Bouncing Souls when Generico was before Generico went to take care of the orphanage. Man, that theme was so sick, and the sing-alongs were so much fun. Like I was fully in the crowds for Steen Erico early ROH. Man, what a time! Like I was there for Steen Erico versus the Briscoes in the Steel Cage in Connecticut back in like 2007.
I like those. Cool. I do have a soft spot for Generico's old theme music. I like Generico's old theme music too.
There's a lot of wrestlers I always think their older theme music's better than whatever they've gotten. What I have to admit this, what I'm really praying happens is we get one last AJ Styles base run, and now that they're working with TNA, he gets Get Ready to Fly one more time, because I would love that.
I always pop for Triple H's music. It's such an instant pop for me.
Which one?
Any of them.
Helps when my mic isn't muted. I'd love to see a CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy. Bring that back. So now that he's in TNA, I think that would be a great rivalry to bring back. Even though they hate each other, so I think they make good fucking money. But I couldn't find the MPW match, but I found your other one. It's still Jason Maverick.
Oh yeah, this is the first time I wrestled Jason Maverick. Was at MEW.
There's a lot of M-Ws in the state.
There are a lot. That's why I started getting confused on who was running what. And you make it look so effortlessly too.
Well, and he's
so cool.
Yeah, wow, you could hear the audience react on that. That's pretty good. I will say, not the biggest guy I've gotten up for that.
Is Abs still the biggest one?
I think Abs is still the biggest. But I had pre AEW Bear Bronson up for it. Kodai Nozaki in Japan is a big boy, and I put him up for it. It's just once you learn to do a move, it can work on pretty much anybody.
I really do remember, like, you, me, and Shotgun calling that match. You're like, yeah, you gotta take the merry-go-round. I'm like, I don't know if I can get up for that. And you're like, yeah, I got you.
I told you it'd be fine.
Yeah,
I got it.
I'm alive, so
the worst thing that happens is it doesn't work. I'll find something else.
That would be a fantastic compilation to put on your YouTube channel, because you have a YouTube channel, Perry Von Vicious. I was just while I was looking at it, I see you do vlogs and stuff too, as well as with your monster truck stuff. That'd be kind of a dope thing to do. Have just a humongous compilation of everybody that you've given the Perry-go-round to.
It's a lot at this point. I think I'd probably have to pare it down. I'd have to do
your favorites,
10 biggest Perry-go-rounds.
Oh, there you go. Do top 10.
I think that'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
I might have to dig through the footage and find a few.
Find your first one and then compare it to
the early ones were rough, man. I did not have that move down. There's I won't say who was in the costume, because I know that's a level of kayfabe we don't break.
Right.
The Kaiju Limitless crossover going on at the Road Season 2. We had a 6-man match, and I gave a Perry-go-round to not Power Ranguru. It's a Bear Ranger.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I won't say who was in the costume, although many, well, not many. I have often described her as my kid sister. And that is maybe the roughest Perry-go-round I've ever given. Because I don't know, there's just something about the costume, and it didn't nothing worked right when I did it. And that particular wrestler has essentially since then refused to wrestle against me because she refuses to take the merry-go-round. It's okay. I got a lot. Again, I'm not going to say who it was, but I have a lot of car rides with her where I give her a very hard time about that. Could be anybody. Could be anybody that I'm teaming with this weekend. Could be anybody. I won't say who. I won't name names. I won't name names.
I was gonna say, come on, it can't be worse than my all 9, the F5 that I did to fucking Alexander Lee. And
Oh God,
that was
I did that
terrible.
match. That's why I remember this.
There's one of the worst. I think one of the worst looking merry-go-rounds, because the one to Bear Ranger didn't look bad, but I know it wasn't a pleasant landing.
Now you make me Google it.
There is one, if you find, there's a scramble match from Blitzkrieg Pro right when the world first opened. From Kaiju, American Beetle is in that match. I do a merry-go-round on American Beetle in that match that looks like I'm hauling a bag of trash on my shoulder and just chucked it into a dumpster. It is vile. It's American Beetle lands on nothing but his hip.
Oh.
Which is really unfortunate because he's got a big foam pad on his back. He could the problem is that foam pad got stuck on my shoulder.
That's what I was gonna ask. I'm like, did the pad get in the way? Like his shell got in the way, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that was the big problem.
Speaking of Beetle at the road, I remember I was I may have got brainwashed for a day, and I was one of the putty patrol, and he came off the roof behind the American Legion.
I've seen that video. Me and Kat have watched that video.
I completely ate his elbow right in my nose, like right here on his elbow, got me like right here.
He's a crazy and dangerous dude. And again, I won't say who anybody is. And in fact, in this case, I think we'll keep his name redacted. We won't say who it is. It could be anybody.
I have no clue who he is. So
yeah. He's a nutcase, known for doing extreme things.
He's a nutcase who cubed, actually.
He's got a doctorate in being a nutcase.
Last question that's on our list before we go into some of the more ones that I could think of when I knew we were having you on the show. This one's super easy. Favorite title belt of all time? Sometimes I split them between like indie title belts comparatively to like more live show title belts. Like my favorite is the early 2000s undisputed WWE title, but if I'm choosing indie titles, I'm a sucker for the Grind Championship, and I've said it every podcast I've talked about it. I love the Grind belt. It is the most beautiful looking belt on the indie scene. I don't care. I'm a sucker for that title.
For indies, I mean, again, because I'm so close with the people who run the company, it sounds just as ridiculous for me to say it, but yeah, I love the Grind belt. I think
it is a pretty belt.
There's something so classic, so simple, but like it still stands out. I really like that. And having the green strap on it, I think was just perfect. For favorite belt, like, you know, the ones like you grew up seeing, like, I mean, it's the Eagle, you know, the Eagle WWF Championship. When I was first watching, that was the belt. And, you know, when I very first started watching, like, I think the first 3 people I ever saw with that belt on TV were Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, and Sid. And I mean, any one of those 3 with that belt, just, it could just be me, just my experience, but that just feels like that belt. It's so indicative of an era, that like very tail end of the new gen era leading right into Attitude. Like
that was 94, 95?
This would have been 96. It would have been after the NWO happened over in WCW, but before DX happened.
Okay, yeah. So
that was my most formative era of wrestling. That was like when I was very first watching every episode of everything I could get my hands on.
I do like the Winged Eagle. That seems to be a very common one that everybody's like that's the title that a lot of people are like, that's the title.
I normally have belts behind me, and I forgot to put belts behind me tonight.
That's what's different about your background.
Yeah. There's no title belts.
I'm just in my safe house still. So,
do you have a dream promotion that you'd like to work for? Whether it be like TV wise or like MLW comes to the top of my mind right now, just off the top of my head, like something like that. Dream promotion that like before you call it quits, hang up the boots kind of thing. You want to be able to say like, I did something for X, Y, and Z.
Well, I mean, for the sake of ego, you know, I've and I've said this for a long time. Whenever you ask anyone, "Oh, what got you into wrestling?" You know, people try to tell you some heartfelt story about like, "Oh, me and my dad bonded over it," or "My grandma used to take me to the mat." No, it's ego. If those other things were your reason, you'd still just be buying a ticket. But you wanted to be part of the show. You wanted that attention. It's ego. We're all here for ego, and I'm A-okay with that. Ego wise, I think my answer is I want to do something on TV, probably for AEW is probably the best shot that I would have. Just to say, because, and this may sound crazy because at 16 and a half years in, having traveled, I mean, I've wrestled in every time zone. I've wrestled in 4 countries. You know, I've never done national television. Like I've never done extra work for WWE or AEW or TNA or any of them. I just never pulled the trigger on doing it. You know, always felt like, oh, I'm not ready, or you know, oh, the person I knew who was the contact isn't there anymore. You know, it was always like things didn't line up. I'd like to do that at least once, just to stroke my ego, so that I'd have that picture, that clip forever. But if I'm like looking deep within to like what would have like meaning to me, there's 2 answers and they're both in Japan. The first is Pro Wrestling Noah. I spent so much time watching Noah when I was in college. Those Kobashi matches that were all happening right then were a huge part of me actually following through and going to wrestling training when I got out of college, instead of, you know, letting a dream slowly die. And then the other one is Osaka Pro, a big comedy promotion in Japan, and they were the thing that made it acceptable to my college friends that we watched wrestling. I ran with a circle that was not quite as interested in what I lovingly refer to as the redneck arts as I am. You know, monster trucks and pro wrestling. It's kind of the redneck arts. But you know, I come from a musical theater and band geek background, and not all of those kids are super into that. So for them, though, Osaka Pro, that was comedy and very colorful characters, and with very little pretense put on it about like we're athletes trying to win a match, and a lot more we're using this form to get our jokes out to the world. Being able to work there would be huge. And I have worked with a couple like legends from Osaka Pro now that I work at Kyushu. I had a singles match with Naoki Sakurajima, and that blew my mind when I found out I was getting that match, because I watched his matches on YouTube like a couple times a week when I was in college and before I'd ever set foot in a ring. So that was pretty cool.
So I just want to divulge a little bit. I know that we're kind of coming on down to the wire here, and I don't want to keep you all night, but you have done a tour over in Japan, and me just being me and being curious about it, because Japan is on my bucket list of places that I would love to say that I got to travel and wrestle in. I think I've actually talked to you a little bit like off camera behind the scenes about this, but could you divulge a little bit into what was like the experience like when you did your tour over in Japan?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. There's really 2 halves to the time I was over there. There's the day to day, and there was like the experience of the shows. Shows was a very different experience. I'm sure this is partly the language barrier that existed, although a lot of that goes away when you start talking how to put a match together, because the words are all the same to everybody. But the Japanese really don't talk a whole lot about the matches beforehand. Everyone's, putting the show together, and then they're stretching out, they're getting their warm-up done, they're putting their gear on, and really it's not until everyone's fully in gear that a conversation happens about what the match should be. And that happens backstage, never in the ring. They don't run through anything. They are all backstage. The fans are already coming in, and then they come up and they say, all right, I was thinking we might try this. Did you have any ideas? Maybe we do that. And that's when that conversation happens, which is really different from a lot of what you run into out here, where,
Right.
occasionally I have opponents messaging me, in advance of the day with ideas. Or, I show up and my opponent's in the ring already in workout gear and says, hey, as soon as you're ready, I got some stuff I wanted to run through. And I think you'll see a bit of that with me and Rip these days. A little of it carried over from Japan, where like, unless we have something we really want to try out, it's very rare that we want to hop in the ring and try to run through anything anymore. We kind of just tell guys like, you know what you're doing. Like the running through it, yes, it's a comfort, right?
Right.
But it's not necessary. Like, you know what you're doing. You know that if I say I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this. You know exactly where you need to be for those things. We don't have to walk through it.
Yeah.
And
see that.
obviously there's exceptions to that rule, but like generally
Right.
speaking, when you're working with another professional on a show, treat them like a professional. You don't have to hold their hand through everything.
Right.
Well, that to me was the most interesting thing about the shows, was just how the performers treated the show day. It was a work day to them. They took it very seriously, but like they also understood we're all professionals. We don't need to do this. We don't have to obsess over this match, because if this match goes poorly, which it won't, if it goes poorly, we've got another 3 this weekend. And I think that's a huge difference when you meet someone who works twice a month, once a month. They treat these matches like a very big deal, because it's their only chance to get in front of a crowd that month. And I understand that, but when you reach a certain level, or you have a certain opportunity ahead of you like those guys do, it's hard to treat every single one like a special little perfect snowflake of a match.
Yeah.
I know. I was gonna say, I know personally when it comes to matches now, I know I've only been in for a few years as opposed to like a lot of other folks. I've gotten to the point where I try to be a little bit like that, where I'm just kind of like, if we go out in the match, something explodes in the match, and it's not what you thought it was going to be, you walk out back, and you kind of, I've always gotten to where I look at my opponents, I'm like, did anyone get hurt? No. Do we have fun? Yeah. Did the crowd know we screwed up? No. And what do we care?
Right.
I mean, I've for quite a while now kind of understood that, like, if something doesn't work, like if all of a sudden something starts to get messed up, it's super easy to snatch your opponent, grab them in a hold, reset for a second.
Right.
Like all that looks like it, to the casual observer who's looking at it as a fight, that's what you would do in a fight if things start to break down, is you might try to grab a hold of them to keep them from hitting you. And in reality, that's kind of what we're doing.
Right.
But that's for Japan, that was, one of the things that really stood out to me about show days was they treated the event like it was special, but the match like it was just checking into another day at work. As far as the day-to-day, man, you talk about simultaneously intense and not at all intense. It was every day I'm up at 8. I would have breakfast in the dorm. I can even talk about the foods if you want to know what the foods were. It's not that
Yes.
interesting. I mean, it might be to someone who hasn't been there, but
I've
I
never been there.
experienced it
It's
for
interesting.
90 something days. So every day I would wake up, go to the rice cooker that was always full, always had rice in it hot, scoop out a bowl of rice, drop a can of tuna on top, a small squirt of Kewpie mayo, boom, instant breakfast. Wolf that down with some
Sounds delicious, actually.
god awful instant coffee, because that's what they had. Start the 1.5 mile walk to the dojo. Usually on the way, I would stop into the 7-Eleven and grab either an energy drink or if I was hungry, I would get one of the egg salad sandwiches. Unbelievable egg salad sandwiches at all the conveniences in Japan. Seriously, there's whole TikToks around it. You should look them up. It's incredible. I'd have that, go to the dojo. We would train for 2 hours, which was intense. I think 3 of you were present for when I ran you through what we called the warm up.
Yeah,
I showed up
always
late.
the first half.
I showed up late, but
Yeah, that warm up was the first half of our training morning. Then we would do the in-ring stuff.
I love showing up and just everybody's fucking dead. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. It's like, it was only like
a good time. I can, I can show you. Are you going to be at Limitless on Sunday?
I want to, but I don't think I'm going to be, just because my wife has to work.
I'm trying to get out of it, guys. He's making
no. I've already talked about this before you jumped on.
No, I heard.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
We would do the hour-long warm-up, and then an hour of in-ring that was pretty intense. We would all break and have water for 15 minutes, and the trainers would usually be wrapping up and telling jokes and putting their shoes on and leaving. But often what would happen, especially with Mentai Kid, Sakurajima, and Tajiri, when they saw me and Jet Wee and Rip Bison slide back in the ring after 15 minutes to do the entire Tajiri workout again, because he insisted that we had to do it every single day, and doing it at training didn't count. We would slide back in to do it right then. So we would do another hour-long workout. When those trainers saw it, that was it. The shirts came off and they slid in and they joined in and did the entire workout with us. And those are guys all in their late 40s, early 50s.
Wow.
Which meant I had no excuse at my age to be dogging it. So we would do that. We'd call it. We'd go to walk home. On the way, we would eat something at the 7-Eleven. For me, they had these killer chicken skewers that were just outstanding. Rip would often do an egg salad sandwich then, or sometimes it was inverted. One of us would get the other. Get that for the 1.5-mile walk back to the dorm. Get to the dorm, we'd do Gaijin lunch. Gaijin lunch, either me or Rip would cook, but we would make a double helping and each take half. It was rice with chicken and pork belly and a bag of frozen veggies all stir fried up just as quick as we could cook it. Scarf that down. No break, because 1.5-mile walk is plenty of break. We'd walk to the gym, never together. Like the first 2 days we walked together. The rest of the time we walked separate, which sometimes meant we'd be like a block away from each other with our headphones on, walking the same exact route to the gym. Walk 1.5 miles to the gym, go lift for an hour, 1.5 miles back. I'd have a protein, I had the protein powder at the dorm, and I would pack my shake before I went. Have that on the walk back. Get back, we would do Gaijin dinner, which is just Gaijin lunch again. Which is a big meal. I mean, I'm really not, I don't know how to do it justice, but the bowl and the food on top of it, if you think like a large cantaloupe of meat and rice, that's about the size of it. Eat that, and maybe 15 minutes after finishing that, either me or Rip would find the other and go, "Conveni?" Because we'd already be hungry again. And we would walk it's like a 1/4 mile, maybe a 1/2 mile, to one of the, we had 3 convenis equidistant from the dorm. So we would just kind of rotate which one we went to at a given trip. And we would load up a pile of food. Usually it was like, they had like pre-cooked chicken breasts and pre-cooked fish and all these different things. We would just grab a whole bunch of the stuff that we wouldn't have to do anything to, bring it back in a great big pile, and just sit there scarfing it all down with Jet Wee while we watched wrestling all night, doing tape study. And then we would finally go to sleep and wake up and do it all over the next day. I mean, in a lot of ways it was, right? It was 100% living like the dream of being a wrestler. I didn't have to go to like some day job I hated. I didn't, I didn't have to do yard work. I didn't have to fix anything. That's not true. I did fix a couple of things that were broken in the house, but look at me. I'm this nerd approaching 40.
Right.
Yeah, if I see a hinge that's out of sorts on a door, I'm going to find a screwdriver. That said, I didn't have to do that stuff. There weren't like really, other than getting your laundry done, there wasn't chores to do. So like it was wake up, work out some more, eat until you're like blue in the face, work out a little more, eat a lot more food, then walk somewhere and get more food so you can eat it, then watch wrestling. That was basically the day to day in Japan. Occasionally we had like proper days off. If we had a show on a Sunday, Monday training would be off because they were like, you just wrestled the day before, no training. And if that was the case, we would still do our gym workout. Often we would still go to the dojo and do the Tajiri workout. But that left a gap in the day. So like there were times where I could go hop the train and go into the city and actually like see stuff. So, we had some cool experiences like that. We got to see Godzilla on opening weekend in Japan. That was pretty awesome.
I remember Rick mentioning that. Yeah.
I got to go to the Sumo World Grand Championships came through Fukuoka, and I went. It was like an 18-day tournament. I went on day like 16. I was the only one of the gaijin to go. Everyone else bailed, but it was like $15 after fees, and it was a whole day of sumo matches. Pretty amazing. Got to see, we got to see other wrestling while we were there. We went to a Marvelous show, a Noah show, and a New Japan show. Got to catch up with AG. I got to see my buddy Vinny Massaro, who was over there working for Marvelous at the time. And we also, like one of the last nights I think it was the last night we were there, we went to the New Japan show. It was the Tag World Finals. And at the end, Chikuzan, the owner of Kyushu, said, "Oh, come with me." And we thought we were leaving. We thought he was like, "Yeah, let's beat the traffic. The finals are over. Let's get out of here." And he just marched us. You can see us on the video of the event. You can see us and Chikuzan just walk up and go right through the entryway to go backstage. And he says, "I want you to meet a friend of mine." And then we're like, "Oh, okay." And he disappears around a corner. A second later, he comes back with Tanahashi. It's like an old friend of his he trained with. This was like 4 days before Tanahashi was announced as the new president of New Japan.
Oh my!
So that was pretty cool. That was like
awesome.
That's
that
really
was
cool.
like one of the Rip and I were talking about it after. It's one of the only times for either of us that we've truly been starstruck in wrestling, because we weren't expecting it. And I mean, it's Tanahashi. This guy's got more main events in the Tokyo Dome in the last decade than like most people will have in a lifetime.
Right.
And no matter what he does, tying the hair back, wearing a suit, whatever he changes, he still looks like Tanahashi.
Yeah.
Well, he comes around the corner. The two of us just like kind of looked at each other real quick, and then we're just trying to like, how do we act cool right now? And we look over at Jet Wee, and he is just not covering it at all. He's standing like this. So yeah, it was a great experience.
Shit.
I made a lot of cool friends over there, and at some point I will be back, but not anytime right away. I got stuff in my homestead and my life to do here.
Yeah.
I know that you talked about like how the wrestlers treated it, but can you just talk about a little bit on how the fans differ? Because even like I've spoken to some of the guys out here about it, because even back home on the East Coast, I feel like the large spots, that's what gets the large pops out of fans. Out here, I feel like, even speaking personally, I'm thriving more out here than I was back home because of my style. Because out here, it is a lot of the chain wrestling and the hard strikes and some lucha stuff, but out here fans are popping not so much for the big pops and the big moves, but instead they're popping for the more technical stuff. And I know that that's the same everywhere. No matter where you go, fans differ for what they react to. So what was the Japanese crowd like working in front of? Did you have to like change the way you were wrestling because you were kind of still wrestling in a style that wasn't really getting them, or to back you or hate you? I don't know exactly how you were working out there, but
well, it was interesting because when we got over there, the owner of the company took one look at me and Rip, and we weren't brought over as a team. We were brought over as two individual acts. But he took a look at the two of us, and we're these two giant, white Americans with these huge beards and long hair and wearing spikes to the ring and everything. And he just said, yeah, definitely heels. Which is crazy because neither of us ever gets booked as a heel in the States ever.
I think you got something playing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was
I say, what am I hearing?
I know I'm hearing
I'm
Ghost
sorry.
Torres in my
I
ear.
No,
was,
I was hearing Torres in my head, so I was like, Torres?
Oh,
and
were you watching American Beetle take a merry-go-round?
Yes, actually, I it queued out and then I re-got it and I didn't realize it was playing. You want to see that really quick?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Sure, why not? I lived the moment, whatever.
Oh.
I
That's right. It's been a
I
while since I've
skipped-
seen what American Beetle wears in the ring. I
I
forgot
skipped-
that.
It's right after this.
Nope. There we go.
Oh,
There we
there
go.
he
go.
is.
Brett's like, bye.
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh my god.
No good. That hair's still growing in. I look like I'm one of the Hanson brothers.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, this is slick. Pretty good reversal here.
oh wow. That was dope.
Pretty cool.
That was pretty cool.
Who is that?
Yeah, that's Vita Von Starr.
Okay.
I've said this to a number of people. I have to get the chance to work with her again. She and I, after that match, were both saying we should have a singles match together.
Hold on.
Occasionally you get in the
Hey,
ring
Neil.
with someone and you have, you try a few things out, you have contact with them, and it's instant chemistry. Man, she and I didn't have to talk to each other, and we were pulling out these wild spots and just making them happen. And afterwards we were both kind of going where the hell did you come from? Neither of us had really heard of the other, even though we both share a middle name, it seems.
Oh shit.
Vita Von Starr, Perry Von Vicious. That's anyways, yeah, that was a lot of fun. What was the question I was answering before that clip started playing?
Japanese. The Japanese
Sorry,
crowd,
my fault.
comparatively.
The crowds.
Before you answer that, I have to excuse myself. I have to go take care of my child. So
See you in
I
a
will
bit,
be
buddy.
Off. So I will catch you all later.
Are you gonna be off? Are you
Yes,
gone?
I have to get off. Yes.
Okay, well then, tomorrow we'll see you at
see
the
you
Whoopie
all
Pie
tomorrow.
Festival.
Minus
Yep.
Levi.
Minus
all right.
Levi.
Have a good
Fuck
night.
Levi. See you later, buddy.
So the audiences in Japan were kind of a surprise. So we were told they wanted us to be villains. But it also became apparent that all they cared about, they didn't really care about cheering or booing. They just wanted the audience to respond to us. And so many of the style the Japanese wrestlers have is this very even the big animated ones are a little bit somber in their initial presentation. Aso-san from Kyushu is this gigantic, he's literally named after a volcano that's on the island. And it's Mount Aso, and he's Aso-san. Wears a costume that looks like he's a volcano, and he just walks to the ring. That's his babyface shtick. It's all he needs because he looks the part. Tajiri's very in character, but it's a quiet character. It's not a loud character. He's creeping and moving through, and that's kind of how they all were. The characters are very quiet. And then there's me and Rip, who are the complete and utter opposite. Whether he's coming out to Joan Jett and screaming like a maniac and whipping a chain over his head, or I'm coming out covered in spikes with my arms stretched out in the air. In America, coming out to Automatic by Less Than Jake, which is a raucous pop ska punk song. Or in Japan, I entered to the Serge from System of a Down. Good Lord. Yeah, that's the guy.
That's exactly what it
Sorry,
looks like.
that's all I could think about when you said that.
I will say, also saw at outdoor shows, the volcano on his head. He has a tiny little pyro he puts in it that smokes the whole
Oh,
way to the
that's
ring. It's
dope.
incredible. You know, I'm coming out, and in Japan, my entrance music was the Surge from System of a Down cover of Godzilla.
Nice.
Fantastic, worked really well. But the complete opposite of what everyone else there was, and the crowds loved it. They loved it. Like nothing I could do without completely breaking and changing the character over would get them to boo me, other than the like automatic response boo stuff that was very much a we're loving to boo you right now, you know. They town after town, they had me in main events beat up whichever wrestler was the local guy. Like I had a main event singles match with Aso-san in his hometown, a guy who's been in the business for 30 years. He's in his late 50s, built like a semi truck. And yeah, literally had me beating him up, cheating, throwing him in the audience. And afterwards, I had a line out the door of fans to buy merch and get an autograph and take a picture. They couldn't care less what I did to their local hero. They thought, oh, wow, this guy's so American.
Big
So
American.
loud. Yeah, he's so loud. He's so tall and he's blonde. What the hell is this guy?
Big American spin.
Yeah. Oh, I think that was part of it too. Is they saw the Perry go round every match, so they were like, yeah, that dude picked up the big guy and spun him around. That ruled. Which, I mean, truth be told, is also kind of the reaction I get in America. People are like, wow, yeah, he picked up a big guy and spun him around. That ruled.
Again, Jason Maverick, when you whipped him around and all of a sudden the locker room was going, holy shit.
I think almost every locker room at this point has one holy shit moment for me where they're like, we can't believe you got that guy up. And it's either for a Perry go round or like at Open, one of the Brick City boys I put up for a stalling suplex. And in my head, it was very brief. And then when you watch the clip back, I just held him for a really long time. And his partner came running in and I kicked him while still holding the suplex. And afterwards, they're like, how did you have one of the Brick City boys up that long on one leg? And I'm like, we were there. In my head, I'm going, the guy's a professional. He knew what he was doing.
Oh, shit. Well, I think that that is all the interview questions. We went a lot longer than we were planning to, but I think that we were all enjoying your stories on from Japan and all your your journey into professional wrestling. Do you have any plugs that you would like to plug there, Perry?
Yeah, always. That's the number one rule of sales. ABP, always be plugging. You got to follow me on all social medias, on all the big ones, all the ones that matter, all the ones that you're not embarrassed to be a part of or only a little embarrassed to be a part of. I'm at Perry Von Vicious. You can find me on YouTube. The channel is just Perry Von Vicious. And that is where I post a weekly vlog showing my travels around. Sometimes it's wrestling, sometimes it's Disney parks, sometimes it's monster truck stuff. It gets pretty wildly varied, as my life tends to do. I also have a weekly live stream I do on Twitch every Tuesday at 9 p.m., although this week it'll be Monday. I have a special event I'm attending Tuesday, specifically vlog. Yeah, generally speaking, every Tuesday, 9 p.m., twitch.tv/Perry Von Vicious. And if you miss it live, I do upload all of those to my YouTube as well. See, beyond that, perryvonvicious.com. If you need to look into 3D printing services or just generally reading about what I'm up to, I have that as well. Make sure you pick up some merch. I've got all kinds of great stuff. I got Perry Von Vicious wrestling buddies. I got Perry Von Vicious art toys where I'm half human, half monster truck. I got Perry Von Vicious Hasbro style toys. I got it all. There's stickers. There's all kinds of stuff that I don't have space for to have ready as a prop.
I was gonna say, he put those all in his room because he was like, yep.
I know.
I'm slowly putting them all back where I found them. Just that level of OCD.
I do have to ask, and I'm sure you've seen it. You've seen Spaceballs, correct?
Yeah, of course.
All I can think is like when Yogurt's like, Spaceballs the coloring book, Spaceballs this.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I mean, I grew up a massive fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who every week had new villains and characters created on the show just so they could make toys of them and sell them.
Yes.
The first musical act I ever saw live was the New Kids on the Block, who I still adore to this day, and they had everything in merch.
Yep, they did.
And when growing up a poor kid in Western Massachusetts, I still forced my parents to reluctantly buy me all of it. I had the bed sheets, which I'm sure was very strange to my parents. Why does our 7-year-old want this boy band bedspread?
Well, thank you so much, Perry. Now we give you the option, because we're going to continue on the show. We do the news segment of the show where we get into stuff. You're more than welcome to hop off, but if you're wanting to stay for the rest of the show, it's completely up to you.
Well, I have to leave my house in 5 hours to begin the trek to Maine.
Okay, so it was good
I'm
seeing you,
gonna
Perry.
That's true. Yeah, like Kat and I only live like an hour away.
Yeah,
so.
an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a 3:30 in the morning. I got to start the drive to Rip and Danny's place, and then we got to leave their place by 4 to make it to the Whoopie Pie Festival.
Oh, wow.
Luckily, there's dunks along the way.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again for joining us. This was awesome. Tons of fun listening to your stories. And we'll see you tomorrow when you kick somebody's ass.
Thanks so much for having me.
Not mine.
Yeah, not ours, thankfully. I'm not taking a Perry-go-round tomorrow. Well, you did say whatever goes, because whatever, they're gonna fire you. He might just slide in just because I said that.
As I understand it, the main event tomorrow is a battle royal where the winner gets a massive whoopie pie.
I did
might
not
shoot
know
on
that.
everyone. I'm shooting on everyone.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I'm winning that, regardless of what the booking sheet says.
God damn it! I'm gonna fucking take one tomorrow.
Everybody's getting thrown tomorrow.
Man,
I'm glad I get to sit at home.
That's gonna be my hot entrance into the Rumble. It's just everyone takes a Perry-go-round one after the other. It's super simple, guys. I'll do 3 of them and I'll be blown up. Just get to the end. If you stay toward the end of the line, I'll never get to you.
Like when I slide in, start throwing suplexes, I get like 4 in. I'm like, okay, you know what? Just someone kick me, please.
That's enough.
Well,
thank you for being here, Perry. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much,
Good one, buddy.
Yep. Thanks again for having me.
Of course.
Thank you for coming.
Have a good night. Drive safe.
Yep.
Yes, drive safe.
See you tomorrow, man. Yeah.
And then
That was
there
fun.
were 3.
That was very fun.
That was very fun.
Yeah.
I feel bad for having him on a lot longer than I told him to, but
That's all right.
I think we're all having fun. I think he was having fun. I think hopefully if he really needed to go, he probably would have said something. Hopefully.
I'm sure he'd have been like, I got a jet, guys.
Yes,
you know?
I got a jet. So, but thank you again, Perry. On to the news, guys.
Okay.
Surprisingly, AEW didn't have a lot this week. We'll get to the next report because I'm excited for that. Besides that one, we're going to start off with Clash of the Castle. It was over this weekend, and one of the biggest main event reactions with Drew McIntyre and CM. Thank you. And during the match, because I was actually CM Priest.
Is that what you were about to say?
I was going to say that. Yes,
Probably.
yeah. During the match, though, I was going to go into Punk sliding in to be the ref, but we had this crazy moment that happened during the match, which you can't see because I didn't back it up.
So, actually, going into that, there's a moment in AJ Styles' match when the ref looks over at AJ, and there's a video of it. The ref looks at AJ, grabs the top rope, and shakes a little bit. You could tell the ref's like, yo, the ropes are loose. I don't think anyone told Damian, and I don't think anyone told Jade Cargill. because
Yeah.
both of them had really bad
Really
top rope
bad,
botches.
yeah. Yeah,
And like
you-
everyone with Jade was like, "Oh, she needs to go back to wrestling school." I'm like, "Dude, if the top rope's loose, you go to spring off of it. There's no spring. You're gonna fall on your face."
right. You could see he just completely slips as
Yeah.
he tries to spring off in it,
Yeah.
and almost like it looked like he smashed his face on the apron. Thankfully, he didn't.
Yeah.
And Drew was actually like made sure he was okay first. He's like, okay, well, oh, and said you're good. Now I'm gonna kick shit out of you. So
I had a moment like this in a match once. Actually, a really side note. I was at the Bangor Fair. It was me, Lee Miller, and Monty Aries, and I went to give Monty kind of like a big boot over the top rope, and I missed because I was supposed to miss. I just went Monty, and I went to give him the kick, and he moved. I was like, and I missed, and when I missed, I kind of tumbled over the top. It looked really cool, and then my foot got tangled between the top and middle ropes. And I'm just hanging there for a minute. Monty looks at me, kind of same thing. He looks at me, he's like, "You kind of?" I was like, "You good?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right." And starts kicking my leg.
yeah, I did the same thing in the Dessert Dojo match. I forgot what I was doing, but yeah, I got fucking same thing because the ropes were very fucking loose, and I did the exact same thing. I couldn't remember what I did, and
Does
there it
Levi
goes.
have a throne?
It looks like it with pirate ships or whatever.
I'm thinking that, yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, we had this moment here. And the camera work, I gotta say, the camera work that they did for this is
It was great.
fan-fucking-tastic because nobody could tell that was Punk until they switched camera angles.
Can I just say, though, that gives me freaking PTSD?
What's that? The
1, 2.
Good thing you just didn't go 3 afterwards, like the
Yeah.
other guy did. Get it?
Man, that's like the funny part is how like Punk should have got booed out of the building, and there's still cheers for him.
Right. But there was a lot of booze though. Like,
Oh yeah.
supposedly, like I looked into this too. I showed you guys this too. Samantha, I think her the ring announcer is
Samantha Irvin. Yeah.
Yes, was saying sorry to fans because they were so angry or whatever. I don't think that's what she was doing. I think she was saying sorry, I have to go. Like I was looking into that.
All right, that makes sense.
But like there's people reporting that she was apologizing to fans about the finish because it was so bad and people were screaming at her or whatever. I think because of where it was recorded, I'm pretty sure she was saying sorry, I have to go kind of type, like saying sorry,
Yeah.
like, have a good time, sorry, like that kind of thing.
That makes way more sense, honestly.
Yeah. So but yeah, no, like the boot, like because this is Drew McIntyre's, his hometown. And they were so pissed. They were so pissed that Punk did this. And then, of course, Drew McIntyre being like a fantastic wrestler, he added to it.
Where the I didn't see anything. What are you doing?
Was that Corey? No, that was
Corey Graves.
that was
Wade
Corey Graves.
Barrett.
That is Wade Barrett.
It looked like
I'm
it.
sorry.
Holy
Wade
shit.
Barrett is still a big mofo.
Yeah, sorry, Drew, but you actually kind of look small compared to Wade Barrett. When you
Yeah.
say something.
Wade's like, swing on me.
I
And I'm
didn't realize.
afraid I'll have some bad news.
I didn't realize Wade Barrett was still with the company.
Yes, he does announcing for NXT, I think, right?
He stopped wrestling a while
Yeah.
back. I don't know if it was injuries or just was like, I'm not getting used in any good way. So
Right. No,
give it an answer.
dude, kudos on WWE too for fucking pulling fan video and putting it on their show.
This is what happens when you have someone who's a fan of the industry in
Right.
charge.
Right.
See, when Vince was in charge, Vince was great at Vince stuff. Don't get me wrong. There's certain things that Vince was still really good at. Besides diddling people he should be diddling. But anyway, yeah.
No, he was good at that. It wasn't okay
He just
doing
got
that.
caught.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, once Triple H got in charge, now is WWE perfect? No, not in any way, shape, or form. Is it getting better week by week though? Yes.
I was gonna say, but
H-
Triple H is also having to. You got to think WWE isn't perfect, but that's because Triple H is also having to slowly undo
A lot of
fucking
this- yeah.
years
Yes.
worth
Of
of McMahon
Vince.
fucking up the company.
Yeah.
He
Yes.
can't just magically turn WWE around
Yeah.
on a dime.
And that's
If
just
he
it.
tried to, it would fucking tank the company.
Right.
It
Yeah.
has to be, they have to slowly begin turning the company, which is actually a question I wanted to pose today to all you three. Who do we think, especially after the Knicks report gets shown and we talk about the ratings, who do we expect to see jumping ship back now that H is in charge and McMahon has nothing to do with the company? Because I have a couple names that I expect to see back in the company before probably by 2026.
I think, honest to God, so I'm gonna start with talent. I'm gonna go down to announcers. So talent, Edge and Christian are both gonna leave AEW and go back and retire in WWE correctly. They're gonna have one last match as Edge and Christian, and then retire that way. I think that's what they're gonna do. Malachi Black's gonna leave. He's gonna come back as Malachi Black. Or
Big
Aleister
Triple
Black.
H guy.
Yeah.
So
No.
obviously,
Yeah, Aleister Black's
No,
gonna
he'll
come back.
He'll come back as Malachi. Because both King and Matthews are going to come with him.
I think that's-
The
well-
entire House of Black is going to jump ship over to WWE, and they're
I
going to
hope-
still be the House of Black.
Can I say one thing about Matthews? I really hope he gets a name change because, so you got Malachi Black. This sounds like this big sinister name, right? Brody King. This sounds like this really cool name, and you got Buddy. So come on, man. Get Robert or something. Give him a name. But no, seriously, no. I think those guys. You keep going down, and there's a lot of guys. I think FTR. Yeah, definitely. There's a tag division in WWE now. There's a decent tag division in WWE now. Bring FTR over. Throw them on Raw. Imagine them going in Raw, whipping the crap out of Miz and Morris. I said Morrison. Miz and R-Truth. Be like, these are ours now, bitches. Whoever in the WWE wants to come get them, come take them. That shit would be awesome.
right.
And JR, I think will go back to WWE one last WrestleMania, then retire correctly. Taz is going to go back to WWE and actually do it right this time because he's not going to have Vince screaming in his ear. That's why a lot of those announcers quit. Joey Styles couldn't stand Vince screaming in his ear. So yeah, a lot of these guys went, no, Vince, I'm done. Now I guess
McFoley.
I've heard, Foley was the same way.
Yep.
I've heard through the grapevine that basically with H in charge, you don't hear him in your ear. Every now and then he'll pop in a note, be like, yo, hey, do this. Just it's a quick thing. It's not him, it's not Vince in this year, Kevin Dunn in this year. I'd have quit after the first night if that was me. I'd be like, I'm done. Bye. Whoop.
Right. Exactly.
Probably
Yeah,
a match in. I'd have been like, I'm done.
No, the reason why AEW was made was because of how shit Vince was doing at that
Yeah,
current time.
it was literally when it started, it was a fuck you to Vince. It wasn't a fuck you to WWE. It was a fuck you to Vince.
Yeah.
Because it
It really
was
was.
started by guys that Vince either A, refused to bring in, or
Mhm.
refused to hire or sign or whatever, however you want to say it,
Or
or B, they were guys that were WWE guys that left WWE for the sole purpose of because Vince fucking wasn't listening to them. There was no working relation between boss and employee. There was no directive in what they were doing. So they started AEW as a fuck you to Vince, and they made it a thing. But now that Vince has nothing to do with WWE, and WWE is getting better and better and better, now that H is in charge, we can see it. Especially with the Knicks report coming up, we can see the only reason AEW is still bringing in fans, is still getting attention at all, is because of the talent they have on their roster.
Right.
It has nothing to do with AEW. It's AEW is also now protecting their talent way more in the sense that they're not letting their talent work as many indie shows anymore. Right. And it's because Tony Khan knows that he's grasping at straws at this point, because the only reason they're getting any traction is because of who they have on their roster. And if those roster members are allowed to work indie shows still, like their big names are allowed to work indie shows, then people are going to stop watching AEW because nobody gives a fuck about AEW anymore. The only reason AEW is still floating is because of the talent. It's because everybody is still watching because it's the only fucking place you can see X, Y, and Z, because X, Y, and Z can't wrestle anywhere else. It's the same way how WCW held on for so long at the end of their fucking tenure, because WCW still had guys like Sting and fucking the NWO and whoever else you want to fucking mention. And that's the only reason WCW stayed afloat for as long as they did. And it's not because anybody gives a shit about AEW. It's because you can only see X, Y, and Z wrestler if you watch AEW. The House of Black, I can only study if I fucking sit and watch AEW. I don't want to watch AEW. I want to watch Kyle O'Reilly. I want to watch Malachi Black. I want to watch Daniel Bryan. I want to watch the Blackpool.
And the rating shows it.
Club. And the rating shows it. It's the matches that are we're seeing it week after week. The matches that are getting the most views are the ones with the biggest names. And then all the rest of their backstage segments, their interview segments, their in-ring segments, whatever the fuck, all the fucking viewership is dropping because nobody wants to fucking watch AEW. They just want to watch the wrestlers that they can't fucking see anywhere else.
Here's something else that WWE is doing correctly. They're building new stars.
Right.
So Braun Breaker, right? They just brought Braun Breaker up from NXT. Braun is tearing it up right now. Like, we all knew he was going to be big no matter what. He's
Ricochet.
He's a Steiner, for God's sakes. We knew he was going to be something.
Murdered Ricochet.
He did. He absolutely murdered Ricochet.
He's murdering everybody.
That's it. The way they're building
using him.
He's this death machine. Ilya Dragunov, they brought him up. They're slowly building Ilya up, even though Ilya, like, what I like is H knows Triple H, like, H acts like NXT exists where Vince didn't.
Yeah.
So when talent comes from NXT to WWE, they still have their NXT prestige.
Yeah.
So like let's use Asuka for a quick example. When Asuka went from NXT to the main roster, she lost almost pretty instantly.
You literally saying my argument that I was about to use.
Yeah, you can use anybody as from NXT
Balor.
to
Balor was a great example.
Balor came back because he was tired of the shit.
Yeah,
he went back to NXT.
I was gonna say Balor literally dropped down to NXT because H literally talked to Balor, and it was during like AEW startup, and they were doing the Wednesday night like back and forth between NXT and AEW.
Yeah.
And H personally talked to Balor and was like, "Yo, I'll bring you back to NXT, and like you can beat
he was going to quit
Balor again." Yeah, he was going to quit.
He was going to quit. He said, "Fuck this place, I'm done."
He was going to quit because Vince wasn't fucking doing shit with them, and H was like, "Yo, come back to fucking NXT. Like, we could use the star power anyway. Just fucking come back to NXT, and you could be Finn Balor again." And he went back to NXT, came back as the Prince.
Yeah.
And that is the only fucking version of Balor that I watch besides when he first started in WWE and was still able to be Balor.
Right.
When it comes
to this
to
day,
WWE Balor, it's the only fucking Balor I watch is his NXT run in 2020.
Right. Sorry, finish your point.
Yeah, that was my point was literally like, you know, H will build these new stars, and we're going to see new stars grow up, build up. And here's the thing, to go back to what Levi was saying, H is also taking like a lot of these things Vince did, and is going, no, male Maxim models. Our boy LA Knight was Max Dupree. How freaking stupid was that? Let's take the guy who's got some of the best charisma in WWE right now, has one of the best promos, has pretty solid in-ring work, and we're going to make him a male model promo dude.
Right.
How dumb was that? Yeah, H looked at that and went, no, let's fix this right now. And then, you know, his first few feuds weren't great, but again, he built up LA Knight to the point now where he's like, yo, LA Knight's music hit. It's like The Rock coming out now. It's not quite that big, but it's like you hear that L-A, and the minute you hear the A, the crowd just goes up. You know?
LA Knight for new U.S. champion. Just saying, LA Knight for new U.S. champion.
I agree.
He's gonna fucking kick Logan Paul's ass. It's gonna be. So
I really hope so.
Watch.
I love the shit that they're doing on the outside too, on the on Instagram and shit like that. But you literally just said you literally said my point that I was gonna say. Like AEW was created because talent was tired of going to NXT and either having to change their character or working on their character to be perfect in Triple H's eyes, get to the main roster, and the first thing that Vince does is fucking change everything.
Oh, you're a killer?
Yeah.
No, you're going to be a fisherman. Yeah, fisherman. Go buy a rod.
What did they do to the I can't remember what their name is, the two Vikings? Like, he completely changed their names.
Raiders.
Yeah. Changed their names. Fucking, they lost every fucking week. It's like, it was frustrating to a lot of guys, which is like a lot of guys why nobody wanted to sell, and everyone was tired of Vince. Tired of Vince in his direction. Yeah, he had some good ideas, but a lot of them were shit. It was time for him to go, and he didn't want to go. So that's why AEW was created. However, now all the flaws that happen with the AEW that everybody knows that they refuse to fucking address or try to fix, you're fucked now, because now we have a guy that is actually there not only for the fans, is for the wrestlers. He's taking his ideas and going out with there. I guarantee you he's probably even communicating with top talents, trying to get their ideas off in his ideas, and he's also working with outside promotions. Everything that I've bitched about WWE should do, he is starting to do it, which is why I loved AEW. But now WWE is doing it. Now AEW doesn't have any excuses anymore. They cannot continue to say, hey, everything's great over here. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Because as you're going to get into, it's showing week by week, less and less people are stopping to give a shit about AEW and focus more on WWE, which is what is trying to get into my next segment. But I want you to finish your thing with the Wyatt 6 finally showed up at WWE as well. But finish your point there.
And that's the thing.
I thought Nick's had a point. I'm sorry. You like.
It's fine if Levi's got something.
Okay.
Well, that's the thing that, like, I kind of pointed out where Triple H has to slowly start changing the things that Vince had going on. If you go back and you listen to anybody that like got on a podcast like Renee's podcast or Kurt Jericho's podcast, any of the talent that jumped ship from WWE over to AEW in the early days, especially Malachi Black, one of my favorite wrestlers. I've listened to almost every podcast that he's ever been on. I have no shame admitting it. That one of his biggest complaints was they had a bunch of these fucking ideas that he was told basically, you know, what's your idea for this? This is what we're going to do. And then he would pitch his idea. It would be like, okay, that's what we're going to do. But then it would turn into a complete shit show. So he left WWE because he was sick of how he was fucking portrayed on the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
He was
look at it. Yeah.
Adam Cole was going to be a manager.
without naming Vince, he basically was bitching about everything Vince was doing. Now look back at all the guys that have jumped ship to AEW were all fucking NXT guys because they all jumped ship as soon as they got called up to the main roster, and Vince absolutely fucked them.
Yeah.
So now they're gonna jump back to fucking WWE, and I mean, even look at the guys that have already jumped ship back to WWE. Look at it's the exact same thing as when they were jumping to AEW. Look at all the podcasts and interviews and whatever have you that they're discussing that they're like, AEW is a fucking shit show. It's AEW has become WWE a couple of years ago when Vince was at his fucking prime, and now WWE is becoming what AEW was when AEW first started. They're working with outside talent. They're listening to talent. They're taking, suggestions. They're focusing on stories. They're focusing on characters. They're letting the wrestlers decide where they want their characters to go.
What drives me a little bit batty, though, is like some of the guys are still doing the rah-rah AEW speeches. And I get it because Tony's still probably making a lot of freaking money.
They have to.
Like I know, like Dax Harwood coming out, and I know like Tony's probably going, here's $20 million, Dax, don't say anything. And it's like,
no, he's just saying, he's literally just telling them, like, you're part of this company. You need to go out there and you got to push for this company.
Yeah.
You work for this company, push for it.
I'm sorry. Like, I get you work for the company, push for it. But the reason sometimes people complain about their company is because they want it to be better. Like, say I work for AEW right now, right? If you really got me fired, I'd go on a podcast. I'd go talk to Cornette and Last or something. And I'd be like, yeah, guys, it sucks over here right now. And the reason I'm bitching that it sucks is because I want it to be better. Everyone wanted AEW to be better. Everyone wanted AEW to be the actual legit second tier wrestling organization, or even the first, if they're going to be because they're for a few minutes, it looked like they were going to beat WWE. And
the thing about that too is that it's not even like, I mean, now it's probably different, but even when AEW first started going in the shitter, it's not like they were going on podcasts or interviews or whatever and blasting AEW.
No.
Like, that's not what they were doing. They were going on podcasts and interviews and being like, as a I've worked for X, Y, and Z amount of companies, and this these are things that AEW could be doing differently. Like, I love it here, but these are things that the could be doing differently. And I do the same thing. It wouldn't even need to be AEW. I would go on a pod, like, say I was working Primos, and say I had an issue with Primos. I'd go on a podcast and be like, I worked with Let's Wrestle and Impulse and whatever have you. And, I think that Primos is getting too caught up doing X and instead could be doing X, Y, and Z if they stop being so tunnel visioned on doing X. And that's what a lot of them were doing in the very early stages. Now they're either having to sing fucking AEW's praises out the wall, or they're getting on pods and being like, it's a fucking shit show over here.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason. I think that's another reason why H went in with the deal with TNA, is because
Noah.
No matter how much money WWE has, they can't afford by themselves to bring back all of the talent that they lost because of what the shit that Vince did. But by going in and making deals with TNA and with Noah, it makes it so people like the Hardys who jump shit, who weren't confident enough to jump shit back to WWE, but instead jump shipped over to TNA, the Hardys can still show up on WWE because now, even though they're being paid by TNA, they can show up on WWE. And I think that's part of the reason why H immediately made deals with those other companies, because it's so when talent eventually leaves AEW because they don't fucking like it there anymore, even if they don't want to jump ship immediately back to WWE, TNA and Noah are both in working relationships. So it's a way to bring WWE talent like the Hardys and Edge and Christian and Malachi Black and whoever else have you. It's a way to bring them back to WWE without actually having to pay for them until H is sure, this is what you guys want. Like with the House of Black, Brody King, Buddy's worked for him, but Brody King has never worked for WWE. So if they were to jump ship, I could see them going to like a TNA or going over to Noah, and it being something where H keeps his eye on them and continues to conversate with Black and Buddy and Brody and be like, are you sure? Like, is this what you want? Because I'm willing to bring you in. It's the same thing with guys like Cole and O'Reilly and the guys that could thrive in a setting like Pro Wrestling Noah. I would be like, they could leave they'd leave AEW, go to like Noah or TNA, and then H, could put, get in their ear and kind of be like, I'm you can come back, you can work for us. This is what we can do as long as this is what you want. It's H being very smart in the sense that he doesn't want any of the talent that's going to leave AEW to feel like the only other choice they have is to just go to WWE or they're never going to make it again. By making deals, it means guys that jump to TNA or guys that jump to Noah can be like, we can appear back on the biggest fucking show of them all. And we don't have to, we're not contracted to Triple H, or we're not, because TNA does a lot of stuff with, they're kind of like AEW was in the beginning, where they let their wrestlers go to, other promotions, so that it could be a way where they don't have to sign a WWE contract, and they could still be like, I'm going to work this indie show and this indie show and this indie show, but at the same time, hey, I can get back on NXT, or I can show up at the Royal Rumble, or I could show up on Raw, and they don't need to sign the contract where the only thing they can do is work for the televised shows.
I got some breaking news.
Oh, breaking news!
Breaking news. It's not really like, oh my gosh, but we got a response from Drew McIntyre from Clash of the Castle, which I was trying to show that he quit on Monday.
He did quit on Monday.
Just
I quit.
Nice.
He quits on Monday. We just got a response from today from Drew McIntyre.
Currently Friday. Holy.
Yes, there's blood now.
It's Punk.
Another great thing. Oh, he's bleeding from the mouth too.
Oh, please.
Another
Okay.
great thing, bringing back color to fucking WWE.
I really thought he was about to give him the future shock on the concrete. I was like, come
I did
on.
too, actually.
He
I
probably
was
still
like,
is.
oh my god.
He's gonna drop him in the ring and be like, I don't quit.
That'd be so funny. I don't quit.
Wow. Just
So,
wow.
yeah.
What a
So-
statement.
So I do have to
The
say
storytelling. The
I
know.
know.
that's the other thing too. That's the other thing that drives me nuts about AEW is so I think I forgot who said it. It might have been Bully Ray came out and was like, yo, AEW, 5-star banger, 5-star banger, 5-star banger, 5-star banger, 5-star banger. Where the hell's the story? I
Right.
don't care if a match is a star and a half if it told a freaking story. You know, it's like, come on, man. Like
Yeah.
Undertaker, Mankind, Hell in a Cell. I think honestly, Meltzer back in the day gave it like 3.75 stars. Like not even 4.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, that match to this day, everyone remembers that goddamn match. I mean, they all remember for Foley flying off the cage, but still, everyone remembers that match. Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, the back-to-back WrestleMania matches. People remember those matches. There was story to them. They were great matches too. Don't get me wrong, but there's story to them. I don't remember like who Daniel Bryan wrestled last Tuesday. You know,
It's funny.
sucks because I like D. Bryan.
That's kind of like what Perry was getting at with the crowd difference, and that's kind of what I was discussing with the crowd difference out here. It's not so much the big spots that pop people out here. It's the actual stories that people are invested in out here, and it was kind of the same way with what Perry was discussing in the fact that like he had the merry-go-round every night. So for however long he was out there, the audience knew merry-go-round, end of match. We love, like he was going out and beating the shit out of their hometown hero. It didn't matter because they were doing it so well, and Perry
Right.
was such a good bad guy for to be the one standing across beating up their hometown hero that they were all like, fuck yeah, like this is the dude, even though he's supposed to be a dick.
Right.
Actually,
Again-
you want to know how much Daniel Bryan's value has gone down? Even his Funko Pops have dropped in price.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's.
I'm not surprised. He's gonna be another one to jump ship.
Oh yeah.
He's
I think
he's
he-
gonna be. He's
No, I
gonna
think
be
he's
one
gonna
to go
retire.
back.
I think he's gonna retire.
No, I think he's gonna retire. I think he's gonna jump ship back to WWE and retire properly.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
that-
he's gonna have a retire. I think he's gonna put somebody over in his retirement match back in WWE where
Yeah.
he belongs.
By the way, I gotta ask: is Polar's LP who I think it is?
Yeah, it's my buddy Randy.
Oh,
Shiloh.
okay. It's not who I thought it was then.
Okay.
No,
I just doxed him. Sorry, buddy.
is this the Wyatt 6?
Yes, this is the Wyatt 6. Now, storytelling, like when Drew's quitting and they're trying to explain, try to keep him on, they went through this whole curtain and you could see nothing was wrong. And this segment was, I think, 2 or 3 later, and just complete chaos. You can't see like the total chaos, but the Wyatt 6 has laid out everybody. Carmella Hayes, Judgment Day, Gable.
Rip Cable.
Yeah, Rip Gable. You'll probably see in a second. Like I said, this should be good because it's a fan, so don't be mad at me, YouTube. I think I just passed. Oh, that was a random security guard that fucking died. But yeah, the
Was
Well,
beautiful.
amazing.
I like how I think he was UCAT in the chat. We're bitching about like how like people can't leave it alone. They want to know who everyone was.
Right. I was like,
There's been rumors for months who everyone was.
I
And the
know.
minute they came out, you could tell who it was.
I know too, but at the same time, it's like just let it breathe and like enjoy it. Like, don't go in there like, oh, I need to know who everybody was, because then people are posting like, oh, they went to Whataburger before the show and shit like that. It's like
After, but yeah.
after the show, it's like,
That
come
was-
on, for fuck's sakes, guys. Just
Well, that was my thing. Is everybody was bitching about how long it took for them to debut, and it's like, I'm sorry, but that was the point.
right.
Bray used to take the exact same amount of time to debut something new, and it would be all teasers and all whatever. And then when they did debut, everybody, all the same people that were bitching about how long it was taking for them to debut, all of a sudden it was, holy shit, I can't believe they're here. Oh my God. Holy
Yeah.
crap, this was so cool. It's like, I'm sorry, fucking 2 days ago, you were just bitching about how many fucking teasers and how long it's been taking for them to debut. Don't fucking switch up and act like you've been, behind it the whole fucking time. That's the shit that pisses me off. And I can't even lie, the whole picture with R-Truth and the joke that R-Truth thinks he's
I thought that was actually kind of funny though.
I didn't. It pisses me off.
I don't think Truth. I don't think Truth.
No, I think it's a fan. I think it's a fan thing. But
yeah.
I know it's a fan thing. But my point is that it still pisses me off.
Yeah.
The point of this is to finish Bray's idea.
Yeah, I was gonna say this
the
is
point
Bray's.
Of this is for Bray to live on in the idea that Bray and Bo had from the very get-go. People making jokes like that, I get it's funny, I get it's R-Truth's character, but this is not the fucking unit to do that for. The missing sixth person is not, it's not funny. It's the Lantern. It's Bray. Bray is the missing six. It is the Wyatt six. It is Bray is supposed to be the last one.
Right.
So I get that it's a joke and it's like R-Truth's thing, but as a Bray Wyatt guy, as a Wyatt family guy, as a Bray Wyatt guy, it pisses me off seeing it because I'm like, you guys are fucking ruining something that's beautiful.
Well, it's like Kat and I were talking about this today too. It's like someone mentioned that, like, oh, Bray's not dead, he's coming back, and I'm like, no, Bray unfortunately passed away.
I that's saw that. Fucking terrible.
I had the same moment with Roman's cancer, where someone actually got mad at me because I literally called them out. Because I was like, no, Roman's really got cancer. And like, what the hell do you know about it? I'm like, one, my mom's got the same cancer. And two, I happen to be a biology major. I kind of do know a little bit about medicine.
And Roman's fucking cancer was obvious. You could tell that he wrestled bare minimum.
Yeah.
And when he did wrestle, you could tell that he was fucking sick. I think it was even Logan Paul's match. Like I could tell, like, ooh, like I'm pretty sure his leukemia came back because he's taking his time. Yeah, that's part of his character and trying to build up this match. But at the same time, he's like, he can't fucking go. Like, and I was surprised he did both those wrestles. I guarantee you, he was struggling through that fucking second
and
match.
I bet most of that was Cody getting him through. Cody's like, right, come on, man, come on, we got this, we got this. Because Cody was like 100% like go.
Right.
I get that it's not a real fight. So there are fans that cling on to storytelling as the thing. But when it comes to real life stuff, you need to stop making these wild fucking conspiracies just because that's what you wish was true. Yeah. I fucking do wish that Roman's cancer was fake. I do wish that Bray's death was fake. You know why? Because it would mean that one of the biggest WWE superstars, and my literal cat, one of my cats back home is literally named Roman because we got him the day before SummerSlam when Roman came back, and we didn't have a name for him, and I literally named him Roman because Roman Reigns had returned. So, yeah, I do wish Roman's cancer was fake. You know why? Because fucking it would mean that it would mean he wasn't constantly battling something that could possibly kill him. I do wish Bray's death was fake for some big fucking elaborate story. You know why? Because Bray's death made me fucking bawl my eyes out when I found out the same that Brody's did.
Yeah.
Because Bray Wyatt is the reason I'm in this fucking business. So yeah, I do wish his death was some big fucking elaborate story.
Speaking of Brody, did you see it's Eric Rowan? We all know it's Eric Rowan. But on the back of Aaron Rowan's his mask, it's actually the skull wolf mask thingy that they wears the Bash Brothers.
Yeah, well, same with the hammer.
Yeah,
the hammer was from
it's called
the Bludgeon Bray hammer. It's just different.
Yeah, it's called both Bray and Brody, which is really awesome.
Yeah.
So continue on with the story with the six, like it's Wheezy Blonde. She had a good idea of what we could see continuing with the Wyatt Six, what she feels like why they attacked these certain individuals in the backstage area.
I have a feeling about it too, but go ahead.
So where do they go from here? What are they going to do? If that was Gunther that they massacred, if that was Carmelo Hayes that they massacred, if it was Dominic Mysterio, if it was Chad Gable, well, that definitely was Chad Gable. They all have some things in common. They've turned on people that they called family. They've treated people that they called family poorly. Gunther just recently turned his back on Giovanni Vinci. Dominic Mysterio notoriously calls his dad a deadbeat dad, turned his back on his own father. Carmelo Hayes betrayed Trick Williams. Chad Gable turned his back on the entire Alpha Academy. In my mind, it's a very specific kind of Shield-esque activism. So where do they go from here? What are they going to?
So
That's
that was her,
actually not a bad idea. If,
Right.
if
It
you
makes
do,
sense.
right?
if you do want to give them all some sort of relation as to why those were the specific ones for the backstage being massacred in the backstage, that's actually not a bad idea.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
it kind of uses the same logic how the Fiend, when he first debuted, the hurt heel gloves became
Right.
Synonymous with, if he attacked you with the hurt glove, within a week they ended up turning heel. If he attacked you with, he attacked a heel with a heel glove, they ended up becoming a baby. It's like he beat Balor, and he beat Balor with the mandible claw with the hurt glove, and then Balor went back down to NXT and
Yeah.
was Prince Balor. He was a heel. So it's kind of using that same logic in that the hurt heel gloves were used in the beginning of the Fiend.
Mhm. Now, I'm like so excited for WWE continuing on the stuff, especially like what I just showed with CM Punk. Like they're just doing like everything's right now. It's just chef kisses. Of course, they have some things that everybody's not going to enjoy or whatever. But like I feel like right now they're continuing with the top talent. They're doing great. But speaking of like debuting and shit like that, Joe Hendry
Play the
showed
music.
up.
Do the music.
Is it copyrighted though? That's the problem.
Yeah, it's TNA, so I don't know.
Yeah. That's probably I believe in Joe Hendry.
Dude, I do that shows as a music guy now, and the entire like roster will like.
I gotta play at least like the few seconds. And
there goes Levi.
There goes Levi. He's done.
Because
Can
we
you
know
hear
he
this?
loves Joe Hendry. No.
Okay, hold on. Let's see.
Yeah,
Here.
there's Levi for you.
Yeah.
I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold on. I have this
That's
stat
all I
pulled
needed.
up. I actually have this stat pulled up because I was curious about it. Joe Hendry's NXT debut topped 7 million views on X.
Yep.
That is more than WWE, Raw, and AEW and SmackDown combined for viewership.
And that is
What
more.
the hell?
And that is more than any AEW debut.
Yeah.
At the current time, including CM Punk's, if I remember correctly.
Punk, Okada, Daniel Bryan, Adam Cole. I'm wearing an Undisputed Era. I liked Adam Cole back in the day. Come on. But dude, it's just he's so freaking over right now.
Yeah.
He's like his character is just I don't even know what his character is. It's just people believe in him when he appears. And
I believe in Joe Hendry.
He's a goddamn genie or something, Like he poof. But it's like it's just bye.
Come back. Come back. You're gonna miss your favorite segment because speaking of AEW and shit like it is time for the next report.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Thank you, fuck you, bye.
Fighter pilot, show me what you got.
What the hell?
You have a vagina.
He needs some milk. Oh my god. What is that?
What? Can we get out?
Next report.
Now, before you get into it, though, I just want to say because we didn't get to it last week.
Okay.
NXT beat AEW.
Yeah.
Dynamite.
Yeah.
By it wasn't a lot. It was like 90,000, I think it was.
Last week? Yeah.
Last week. How did they do this week?
Well,
Nick?
okay. So I'm going to start with the AEW rankings because this is funny. Oh man, we were just talking about this too. So AEW Dynamite on TBS for June 19th. That is all of 3 days ago. the quarter-hour breakdown. So we're going to start with the first quarter hour here. That is, of course, 8 to 8:15 p.m. It's Rouge, who I get the horns, versus MJF, right? Now, that should be a banger of a match. 586,000.
They started with 586,000 people.
Did the Big Bang Theory not play that night? They started with 586,000. Normally, AEW starts around 900,000, somewhere in that area, and drops. They started at 586,000.
And like, there was no NBA or anything like that day, was there?
There was other stuff going on. Give me a second. I'll have to get into it here.
It doesn't get any better.
It does not, actually. Give me 1 second. So,
Who was playing against AEW? That will be a better question that we will give them the benefit of a doubt if it's something like the NBA playoffs or something like that.
Yeah, I think the only thing going off.
Celtics won the day before, so it wasn't the NBA playoffs because they won the day before my birthday.
Maybe what was the last game of the Stanley? There was a Stanley Cup final game tonight. Was it on Wednesday also?
I don't think so.
Oh, hold on. That's NXT. Yeah. No, they don't play the same nights. No, the NXT was up against the Stanley Cup final, not AEW.
What did the NXT stand compared to the Stanley Cup? What was their rating?
So, Game 5 of the NHL Stanley Cup, which is the Florida Panthers versus the Oilers, averaged 4.15 million. So not bad.
And what did NXT do?
NXT did. Let me see.
A little over $1 million.
724,000.
A little under.
Okay, so no excuses right there.
No
excuses.
AEW
right there.
just started with 520,000 or whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just hot. Like, we call that hot garbage where I'm from. So come on. Sorry.
This will hopefully be a waking up point to get your shit together, to start firing people and hiring people that actually know what the fuck they're doing to get them on track. To get something.
Kat.
What?
I just thought about this. I don't know why it just came to my mind. What channel are we streaming on?
PURR Sessions.
Okay, we are live on the PURR Sessions.
Which is why we don't have a lot. Which is why we don't have a lot of viewers.
I don't know. We had, I think, 5 while Perry was on here, so we still had we've got about our average.
Yeah, so it's like I said, it's going to be hard because we started on the new channel.
It's all right.
We're getting there. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt the beautiful next report.
No, but we just got to once again build. It's going to take some months.
That's fine.
It's fine. Eventually, we'll get there. I'm hoping that PURR Sessions will be bigger than my channel at one point. But we're definitely going to get there. But anyways, finish on
here. So so that was 8 to 8:15, 8:15 to 8:30, which is quarter 2. Rouge and MJF continued post-match shenanigans with the Cage of Agony.
What are you looking at next for ratings?
I'm looking at. I'm getting these from WrestleNomics.
Okay.
So I actually it's a Patreon that I actually may or may not pay $5 a month for.
Okay, I was gonna see if I can pull those up while you're fucking going through it.
To the
hold on.
fan that just messaged me and asked why it was only Dylan's ugly ass face on the screen, it is because you just tuned in to the Knicks report. They didn't actually call you ugly. I added that part myself.
Thanks, Levi. Fuck you too.
There you go, buddy.
The Knicks reports.
Are you probably not. I don't know if I have you as co-host or not. So where are you looking at right now?
Hold on, I just found my desktop. Give me a freaking second. I'm looking at
There's 4 people in here, damn it. Next, quick, say something.
Come on, you're supposed to.
Purple Monkey dishwasher. Purple Monkey dishwasher. There you go.
Purple Monkey dishwasher. Why is the monkey purple and why is it in a dishwasher? I don't
know. So that's kind of not what I'm looking at. Bring up the thing I just sent you. That's what I'm actually looking at.
Okay.
So we got oh my god, this is one Spanish name I cannot pronounce. Hitcharika.
Do it.
Jimmy Baba Ganoush recap. Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe backstage promo and ad break. Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland live promo. They went from 586 down to 542.
I was really hoping you were going to say the ad break had the most viewership.
That would be funny as hell.
That'd be funny as hell.
So, third quarter, 8:30, 8:45. Ospreay, Strickland, Prince Nana live promo. Ugh. Don Callis family backstage angle and break. Roderick Strong, Takeshita, Kyle Fletcher, and Zack Sabre Jr. versus Dante Martin, Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe, and Orange Cassidy through picture-in-picture ads. Oh my God, that's
let me throw out there. That's like another thing.
They dropped to one.
That's another thing that AEW is doing that is so wrong, and it is there are way too many motherfucking 6-man and 8-man and 12-man and battle royals and tournaments and or gauntlets rather, not tournaments, and it's because AEW they took one complaint, and the one complaint was they had too many motherfucking people on their goddamn roster.
Yep.
And instead of releasing people and letting them go work for better companies, they decided, nah, fuck that shit. We're just going to fill our motherfucking shows with 8-man and 12-man and gauntlets and this and that, multi-man matches, and they're all just going to be shit because there's fucking 12 people in the goddamn ring trying to do shit.
So yeah, that goes. By the way, that goes through picture-in-picture. Then it ends in quarter 4. We also have Mercedes Moon video that drops down to 489. They picked a little bit back up in quarter 5. Roosh Don Callis backstage angle. The Acclaimed Okada rap. Oh my God! Actually, did you guys see this? This was actually kind of funny. I actually will give AEW credit for this one. So the Acclaimed come out. Caster's got his mic, about to do Caster shit, right? He's like, da 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 da. And just as he starts rapping, Okada comes on the screen. He's got a headset on. He's like, oh, sorry, wrong button, bitches. And hits another button, the screen goes black. So that was actually kind of funny. I actually saw that. But yeah, the Young Bucks are death on the show most of the time. But so for some reason, they jumped up in the next quarter. But I think it's because of Smojo, honestly.
Hook, backstage angle, Tony Schiavone.
Yeah.
Live promo.
Yeah, that was a
too many names.
Harley Cameron, Anna Jay, ad break, Claudio Castagnoli pack video. So then it drops down 498. Then the final quarter is the worst one with 431, which is or no, that's the next to final quarter. Oh, that's the overrun right here. But yeah, this final quarter, post match with Matt Menard. Who the hell's Matt Menard? Cage of Agony hit Jimmy Baba Ganoush. MJF, Ospreay, ad break, Ospreay, Cage, backstage angle, Claudio Castagnoli versus Pac through picture-in-picture, and then the overrun. Usually the overrun goes up. The overrun actually still went down. What is up with AEW?
Claudio versus Pac would be a banger of a match if it wasn't playing through fucking picture-in-picture.
Exactly. This is what I'm talking about. Also, I didn't even know any of these matches existed. Like, AEW doesn't promote anything. They're not like, yo, next week on AEW Dynamite, come check out Rush versus MJF.
No. They do. They do promote. They just promote 2 days before the show.
That's the problem. You can't get people into your show or wanting to watch the show. WWE, man, if it's gonna be like The Rock versus Triple H, say it's Rock Triple H at SummerSlam. We knew about that almost a year in advance. We didn't know about that shit 2 days beforehand. No, that's not how you do this shit.
Oh yeah, to our viewers, I hope that I sound better. Got this beautiful new mic set up, so as I smack it. Yeah, I also have this. I also have these cool knobs. I wonder if the echo feature works. I'm totally gonna fuck with this.
Oh Jesus Christ! Here we go.
Does this make me echo? I don't know. He died.
What happened?
Am I echoing?
That's where the hell you went.
Oh. StreamYard must stop me from being able to use it because I have
an
echo dial on my. Oh wait, no, I was fucking with the volume button. Shit.
What were we trying to do?
Echo.
There you go. That's
Jesus
Hell
Christ.
yeah.
Now we get Cavern Boy over here. But no, seriously.
Fuck. I fucked with
this is one of those things that it needs to be a wake-up call to Tony Khan. Tony Khan needs. You know what? No, not Tony. Shad. Shad Khan needs to look at this shit and go to Tony and go, fix this shit. Because this is embarrassing. Even the Jacksonville Jaguars get better ratings than this. And the Jaguars are shit.
I'm gonna hope that my volume's back to where it's supposed to be. Real quick before we go into botches or any more news, just because
I guess I'm done.
Quick, just because it has to be played in honor because we want to with the interview segment.
Samuel Matthews' heart take.
If only he was
Oh,
here.
that was the hot take.
I was gonna say the hot take was that the Jaguars get better ratings than AEW does.
They do. And NFL, I don't care. The Detroit Lions. Well, the Lions are actually pretty good. Who's a shit team right now? Like the shitty shit team. Fucking, I don't know. The Cleveland Browns, I guess. But no, they still have a loyal fan base.
I don't follow football.
God damn it. The Jaguars would be like the shit team.
Yeah, just stick with the Jaguars.
And it's like,
Yeah.
you go out here, and Shad's got to be like, his accountant's got to be coming up to him with a book and looking at this book and going 0, 0, 0, 0, red, 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 red. He goes, Shad, have you seen this shit? And Shad's sitting on his giant fucking yacht. By the way, his yacht's called Kismet. How do I know this? Because it was in Bar Harbor a couple summers ago. And he's going to be sitting there looking at this going, Tony, what the fuck? No, seriously.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? You spending all my money. You fucking... Tony literally needs to shit or get off the pot at this point.
Yeah.
He needs to figure something out. He had all this talent, and he had all this amazing older talent. He had JR. He had Art Anderson. He had William Regal. He had Jake the Snake Roberts. He had all these guys who could actually do something, and he didn't. No one would listen to them. What the fuck?
Yep. And on that note, we're gonna get into my favorite side.
Hot day.
Yes! I bet you Sam's upstairs right now, either laughing her ass off. Actually, she's probably laughing her ass off. She's playing D&D right now, so they probably all just heard me rant real loud.
And
Turn
all
your
of a
mic
sudden
down, holy
you
shit.
hear, and all of a sudden you hear an NPC in the local tavern screaming out the door about the Jaguars.
Now we're gonna go into my favorite segment.
What the hell is he doing? He just fell on his ass. What the hell? Hey, they're going to be Tom. You got to be Tom.
Well, actually, things are going real well with the XFL.
Oh, yeah. Oh! It happened. Fuck it!
Cat, hold on. Before we really get into this, it's not a botch, but could you, at some point, it doesn't have to be tonight, find the video of the guy getting thrown onto the car hood, then the other guy jumps on top of him?
Oh yes, actually, I think I already got that. All right,
Yeah,
I think
right.
so. If not, I'll double check. But yeah, that was going to be in this segment because I was just like, what the fuck? Just like this one.
Really grinds my gear.
I love this one.
Randy Orton, why? Ever since his return, with his stupid music and his stupid muscles.
Awesome. His music's awesome. His muscles are awesome. He looks great. He looks cool.
The most 3 dangerous letters in all of wrestling. Stupid R, stupid K, stupid O.
Pretty. What?
I'm gonna put an end to it.
How?
I'm gonna RKO Randy.
You're gonna RKO Randy?
Right now.
How?
You gotta be quiet. I'm quiet. He's never gonna see this.
I believe in you.
Are you ready?
I believe in you.
Tell me Randy throws his ass over the fucking barricade.
Fucking chopper.
No,
Why?
yeah.
Why do you want?
You guys.
He took it straight up too. He was like, "Fuck it. If I'm doing this joke, fuck it."
Yeah.
You
My favorite part is Randy not doing anything besides turning and
Oh
talking
no,
on
he
the
just
phone.
turned out of it and then answered his phone, and Ciampa just ate a fucking bump on the ground.
You guys can't tell me that you guys haven't felt this before.
What?
What? The whole video?
Me after getting sidewalk slammed on the fucking ground, Lee Edward Miller.
Nick's with the fucking Tiger driver.
Yes. I didn't live back after that, but trust me, it was not a fun day for my brain.
us slipping back after the suplex on the concrete wasn't the opener, but same difference.
Yeah. Danny and Jossie looking, Amber and Jossie looking at us going, yeah, okay. Hold on. Is that Dan Moff?
I don't know, but I just know this is fucking stupid.
It is not Dan Moff. It looked like him for a second.
Fucking dumb.
Belichick,
Why?
would you leave Bolt alone?
Why would you do that?
So I'm
I
yelling
have
at
a
my
cat
cats.
named Bolt too.
Yeah.
The tiny pain in the ass was named Bolt.
Oh boy. What's going on here? Oh God!
Oh,
Completely misses him.
Okay, wait, run that back. I didn't see the guy on the top.
Oh God!
Watch.
I was confused on what we were looking at for a minute.
Crossbody completely misses.
Fuck, dude. He didn't completely miss, but it was pretty fucking close.
Well, it was something
It
where the
wasn't
other guy
enough
just
of
fucking
a-
pinned him. The other guy pinned him and won.
Yeah.
So
It was enough where they were like, "Yeah, we're done."
Yeah. It's like, yeah, just pin me at this point. You're supposed to win. I don't care. Just pin me.
I don't care. I am not moving.
Oh, that is a conversation in the back right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not to shout out Connor Hex, but when I was first starting out, I think it was during an AG seminar. I want to say it was either that or a JD Drake seminar. I can't remember the exact seminar, but we were running. It was one of the times we were running a spot. I think you were there, Dylan. It was one of the spots where it was like a 1, 2, 3, like a shine or a comeback thing. And Connor Hex hit a Pele kick that looked exactly like that, except he hit it safely. And it looked just as gross, but he didn't knock the fucking guy that he was working with out.
I think I remember that actually.
That is my.
Oh my God!
That was cool. I mean, the table didn't snap. That was actually really fucking cool.
his fucking ass. He just
Oh
sat on
my
him.
God!
That dude
It's
is not
better
having
than
kids.
missing. It's better than missing the motherfucking table.
I guess, but
True,
still.
but that guy's never having kids now.
Hey,
His penis is
what's
inverted.
cool?
I don't care. His penis is now inverted. He now has a vagina. All right.
Don't do it!
Hey, fuck you. That's my. Okay.
There goes his mask.
Oh, the mat. Okay. I was like, yeah, that looks cool too.
No, don't do
The
it!
move looks cool. I think it's the mask like coming off. That's
Yeah, I didn't notice the mask. Oh yeah.
dude.
Well,
they're
okay,
at like,
okay.
they're at like a legit
Just-
brewery. Look at the barrels in the background.
Just to shout out the homeboy in the pink. If you notice the way that he pins him, he actually
No, don't do it!
face. So I don't know if that's one of the luchas that's like super big on face. But when he notices the mask came off, he threw his arm, like he pinned him with his arm over his face.
Right.
So
That
I would assume that's one of those luchas that's like, don't fuck it, like you don't want to fucking lose your mask in the ring. So shout out to the homeboy in the pink for doing that, because a lot of people would see that line and do it.
Right.
Yup. Things I won't do for my money.
Quítate, güey!
At least he hit shoulder blades on the apron, I think.
Yeah.
He didn't crack his fucking neck and fold himself. Things that I won't do. Things that people in the state of Maine tried to get me to do for $500. Looked like a Benoit headbutt. Maybe a little short.
It was a little short.
Maybe a little short.
Why I don't go on the top rope.
Well, dude, it's always funny when people like
break
when I'm
the
like,
ring.
no, Eric and Ace came off the top and didn't break the ring. I don't think Cat's going to.
Which ring were they in?
It was the Let's ring.
Exactly. That's why they didn't break it.
But I remember
I know
one
some
time.
of the rings y'all wrestle in.
Yeah, it's true. One time I went up for something and someone's like, "You sure you can make that?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine," and I hit it perfectly fine. But this is always my nightmare right here.
Yeah, it's a little short.
For a bomb! No way! No way!
That's paralysis.
Yep.
In for a bomb! No way! No way!
No, he's good. He landed upper shoulders. He's good.
No, that's paralysis.
I don't know what it was, but it's
He's
terrible.
good.
It's
You
a
know what
tree
that
wall
was?
into a
You
power
know what
bomb.
that? Yeah. You know what that was? That was me and Dylan in Fairfield, and I'm not even gonna name the match. But
I know exactly
what I'm
what
talking
you're
about.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I will send you. Actually, I don't even think I have it anymore. But
No.
let's
I
just say it was a match against somebody who I pretty sure I had a hand in him no longer being booked at places because I bitched him out along with bitching a promoter out because I wrestled him 4 shows in a row and was tired of almost dying every time I wrestled him. And against somebody else who we have all had interactions with, who is kind of blacklisted from the state of Maine at this point for all the shit that got pulled. So,
Wait. If the match is what I think it is, the second person in the match is not blacklisted from the state.
I haven't seen him wrestle in the States.
He was at a show not too long ago.
I think I know what show he was at.
Yeah.
But that's the first time that I've seen him do anything in the States since I don't even fucking know when.
Hold on.
No, that was at Skips. That wasn't at Fairfield. That was at Skips.
Who the hell are you talking about?
I've got nothing against him. You were thinking of the fucking doomsday device power bomb that almost
yes. What the hell are you
That was the
talking
one
about?
you were thinking of. I said Fairfield. That was at Skips. You're thinking of the power bomb doomsday device thing that almost
No, I know what I'm thinking of. What are you talking about though?
I'm
As
thinking
well-
that.
Oh,
There you go.
okay, yep.
That was us in Fairfield.
Yep, now I remember that. Okay.
There you go. Yeah,
People
that
probably
match
watching
had-
going, what are they talking about? Unfortunately, guys, we're not going to drop names. I'm
No,
like Perry we won't even really hit at him, but
No. I
I
don't.
can't find that fucking video now. The one
What
that we were
video?
just talking about. The one that he jumped off the fucking car.
That's all right.
It was in.
I thought it was too, but
chat?
I thought it was in the
wasn't
chat
it in
too, but I
somebody's
couldn't
chat?
find
'Cause
it.
Didn't somebody just fucking post it to us? Yeah, no, I'm not gonna drop names. I don't need to. I don't need to, because if shit has happened like this, trust me, people have heard backstage out of me when the shit happened. So I'm just alluding to shit that has gone on within the Seawolves past. But Dylan can very much vouch for the fact that when shit has gone down, I was never one to be quiet about shit happening when I would get backstage. So
Levi's loud and angry, not Levi.
yeah, Levi was very loud and angry and wouldn't let people get away with shit that they should have known better.
Folks, believe it or not, I'm the calm one.
Oh yeah, between the two, Dylan is the calm one.
I've only lost my shit once. And
Even in my
Dylan-
current
Nick
tag
knows.
team, I'm the calm one.
Yeah,
Technically,
I
I've
lost
only-
my shit once.
Technically,
Nick's-
I've only
Nick's
lost
was
my
there.
shit once, and it was at Skips.
Yeah.
And it's the show that I literally went backstage, talked to nobody, changed into my jeans, got in my car, and drove to the gas station down the road because I was going to kill the three people in our match if I didn't. That's technically the only time. When I say lost my shit, I've gone backstage and bitched people out, especially people that should have known better than to do what they did.
Yeah.
I have never lost my shit in the sense that that was the only show that I lost my shit, and I literally drove away from the venue because I was like, nope, I'm leaving, because if I don't, I'm going to start punching people in the fucking face.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was the only show I ever lost my shit at. I just was never one to let people who knew better get away with pulling bullshit. Even with
Yep.
Lee even got an earful with this. Lee even got an earful with the sidewalk slam on the ground.
Yep.
Ow.
Do you have more botches?
That's actually it, but I'm trying to find that fucking match. I had it saved and everything. I wonder if they took it off.
They might have taken it off, but that was disgusting.
We have been live for almost 3 hours, so if that is the end of the botches, I'm going to suggest, Dylan, do you want to start and plug your shit? Because you guys have to go to the Whoopie 5 Festival tomorrow. I have to get up and celebrate my oldest stepkid's birthday tomorrow because his birthday was on the 20th. So
Yeah, sadly,
I
can't
also
find
have
it,
a
so,
video to finish. I have to finish.
Oh, I see. That's why
editing
you want to fucking get off.
That's why he's
Well,
late too,
okay.
probably.
No, I was getting food because that's why I was late. But the video, I have literally I've got 3 scenes left. It was a 2-hour video. I edited it. I was editing it for 4 hours before I joined this fucking stream with no breaks because it was a 2-hour long video and I'm cutting it down to the funny moments. That will
I've
be
been
out
there,
on my YouTube.
which is why I hate doing
And it was
fucking editing.
horrendous. I like
You
editing.
too.
It just took
Say that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said the same thing.
plug in my shit. Unfortunately, my girlfriend is my calendar, so I don't know everything coming up. I do know the Whoopie Pie Festival tomorrow, of course. So if you guys are in Maine and want to get some wrestlings in and some whoopie pies, and I'm sure they'll have red hot dogs too because it's Maine. And by the way, the Maine hot dog was voted one of the best hot dogs in the world. So suck on it. And yeah,
I'm actually happy I can enjoy those now because apparently I'm fine now.
Excellent. So come check out the Whoopie Pie Festival tomorrow. I don't know if I can. We know our match, but I'm not going to let it out because it hasn't been announced, so I'm not going to spoil it for anyone. Then we got that, and of course, Limitless this Sunday in Hermon, Maine. Come see Wrestle Dad. His name is Alexander Lee. Beat up our Wrestle Uncle, which is Aiden Agro. Both these guys are our trainers. We care deeply for them both, but Aiden's kind of gone down the dark path and probably does need an ass whooping from Dad. So there we are.
Dickhead.
He did the same thing I did, but better. But better.
Maine Premier Wrestling. Maine Premier Wrestling, of course, on the 28th of June, defending those MPW Tag Team Championships. There we go. Against Dirt City Murder Crew. That is one Jason Devine and one Mike Montero. And then SuperNova on July 19th. We will not be there. I have stuff to do other places, which is honestly not wrestling related, but it is still fun for me. And then, of course, a couple more Limitless shows. And then MPW back in Indian Island. It's kind of our home place for that today now. That's August 24th. And I'm pretty sure your tag team champions will be there because we're doing a live per sessions there, which will be awesome.
Yeah. Levi, you know how much we love you. We got to figure out a way for you to be at least at the first per sessions live audience.
I told you guys last week I have something else going on that week. I have something going on that I cannot. Yes, I do.
No, you
I
don't.
Yes, I do. I
No,
cannot
you don't.
cancel what I've got going on. It is
No, you
something.
don't.
It is something that is really. It is like really career opportunity type thing. I'm sorry, but it is.
Unless you're taking the freaking FTW title from Hook, you should be there.
I have something that is big for my career that I have to do. I will try and tune in and actually be able to and join on Streamlabs while I am out and about, but I will not be able.
It's not going to.
Oh
be
yeah,
live.
that's right. So so either way, I will be there. I will be supporting you in spirit. But I have something going on. I cannot make it on August 24th. But also, Cat muted himself because he moved. There you go. But anyway, am I up?
You damn it.
Am I up?
Go for it.
I'm not going to comment on the fact that Dylan didn't plug any of his socials or anything else, but
at everything at DOTD Nix. There you go.
I've got all these beautiful, beautiful dates. There was actually a show tonight that there was a show going on tonight at the Roxy that I, unfortunately, because we had Perry on, I could not cancel myself being here, so I was not able to go to. But this Sunday is Joan Jensen's Big Gay Bash number 3. I want to say it is. Basically, it is a show that is very much dedicated to all LGBTQ wrestlers in the state of Colorado. They have a stacked card going on, so I highly suggest if you are in the Denver, Colorado area, go to the Roxy on Sunday. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it, but I highly suggest go and support those people because they're absolutely amazing. June 30th is the next show that I will be at. It is Ratified Air with main event Marlon Bishop, the Enforcer Marlon Bishop versus Mr. Remarkable Richard Holiday, which a little piece of Limitless Wrestling coming out to my area, which will be really cool to see Mr. Holiday again. So that will be the next show that I am at, is on the 30th. But we do have we'll be back to Pizzability in Eaglewood on July 7th. We have chopping block dates on July 20th. We have July 13th and 14th and 25th and 10th. And I might just be heading down to Colorado Springs, CWC, Colorado Wrestling Connection. There is a cosplay and anime thing going on in August, and they have a big old cosplay battle royale. And there is a very certain Mr. Levi Spade who has some Green Ranger attire that is winner of the battle royale, gets a shot at any title in CWC. And
I have my eyes on the Young Dragons Championship. Mr. Niles Blood knows it too. So, you know, Levi Spade might just show up and whoop 30 people out of that fucking cosplay rumble and take that little Young Dragons Championship for myself before the year ends and rectify the fact that I have never won a singles title in almost 4 years of doing this. So I have booked a lot for the summer. I'm not sure how many dates I'll be making. Of course, like I said, I wasn't able to make tonight. I'm not able to make Sunday, possibly. But I will definitely be there at Ratified Air. I will definitely be there at Pizzability, which is July 7th. And I will definitely be there for the chopping block on July 20th. And I'm going to try and make the 13th and 14th. I have something going on the 13th, so I may not make the 13th, but I probably will make the 14th. So you can catch me at least 4, if not 5 times in July. Social media everywhere. Instagram, Facebook are the most ones that I use. Levi Spade 1. On Twitter too. I think it's also Levi Spade 1. If not, it's Levi Spade 2. YouTube.com/Levi Spade 1. If you want to catch any of my any of my matches out here, I'm posting fan cam footage for all of them. Twitch.tv/Tears Gaming, TYRSGAMMING. It is my Twitch channel. Please go follow me. I am on the road to affiliate. I am streaming a lot. Also, YouTube.com/Tears Gaming, TYRSGAMMING. If you want to catch stream highlight videos, that's what I just talked about editing. Brainbustertees.com/Levi Spade. I didn't plug that last time, but brainbustertees.com/Levi Spade. If you want to get any of my beautiful merch, which is so much better than Dylan Nix's. It's also the only official place to get Seawolf shirts, and I also am sending more emails to people because there's some Seawolves copyright on different websites that have been stolen. So please, pwtees.com/Dylan Nix or brainbustertees.com/Levi Spade if you want a Seawolf shirt. Those are the only 2 official spots to get them.
That Seawolves, those 2 Seawolves logos, one was made by a promoter, but the 2 I've got on my website were both made by Sign Guy Jamie, and he's awesome. So yes, definitely those are our stuff. That's not it. That doesn't belong to anyone else.
We are getting, there are 2 different websites that I'm not going to name, but we are getting, our shirts have been stolen by 2 different people and posted on websites that are not affiliated with us in any regard. And if they are have sold any of our shirts, we have lost out on money. So I have sent some very threatening emails.
No. Send the threatening emails. I got close to the camera because I'm going to say this. If they don't respond, I'm going to get on the phone, 1-8850-STEVE. I'm going to call Steven freaking P. New.
Oh, shit. I guess I got to put those down then. Is that it?
Oh! One little breaking news thing. Jacob Fatu debuted tonight.
Oh, finally.
It's
SmackDown.
SmackDown?
Yeah, he came out and basically wiped out Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Sorry to take up so much time, but I want to make desperately sure that everybody understands that the only place to find our shirts is on our officially licensed websites, because I'm still very pissed off about the fact that our merch has been stolen, especially the ones from Jamie, the sign guy, because they are his design and our shirts. So those ones are definitely even more irritating that they have been stolen by somebody who is selling them.
Basically, I'm everywhere where Dylan Nix is. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook at Big Cat Tyler Adams or Tyler Adams for Twitter and Facebook. PURR Sessions has its own Facebook and TikTok as well as YouTube channel, obviously because we're streaming from it. Come see us at the Whoopie Buy Festival. We are going to have a live audience for VIP members at the King of New England MPW show in August 24th. It's actually 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. And of course, VLC. Check out VLC on the 17th. And like I said, on the beginning of the show, hopefully we get some more guests before then. Some big guests for the show to help promote VLC. And here is the
yes, Dylan. I don't even need to click the link, but yes, that is one of the. Is that the Jamie? one?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
one of the
that's,
Jamie. Yeah,
that's
the
the
Jamie
site.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ours is on some fucking back. The one that's on My Brain Buster is on some fucking backwater website.
Same ones want nothing to do with. Hold on, he just put on
There.
God, that probably sucked.
Or who's got the bad back history? Yeah.
Gross.
As long has been rid of.
Oh,
Risk reward.
I just headbutted him.
He's lost weight too. Jesus.
Oh my gosh! All that
Wow.
looked like it sucked.
Yeah. But Jacobs lost weight. He was thicker when he was in MLW.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like he's thinned out a bit.
Oh yeah.
He still looks like he's gonna kill everything that comes near him. But
Well,
wow.
good
And
way
also
to end off
remember-
the podcast.
Also, remember, check out Perry Von Vicious. Thank you again for being on
Yes.
tonight's podcast.
Yes, thank you, Perry.
YouTube, Instagram,
And
Facebook.
fuck Sam.
YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Remember, Perry Von Vicious everywhere. Thank you again for being on here tonight.
Yep.
And at Samuel Matthews Wrestling, Facebook and Instagram, I think are the two that he has. So
Yep.
At Samuel Matthews Wrestling, and I believe you can catch Sam tomorrow at the Whoopie Pie Festival as well.
Yes, he will be there as well.
And I assume MLW in Fairfield.
MPW.
If not, sorry, MEW. You guys said we were talking about FUT 2,
MPW.
and you were talking about FUT 2 and MLW came to my mind. So I believe you can catch him MPW Fairfield.
Yes,
So you say, if not, if that's wrong, shoot me, Sam. I'll see you next Friday. So you
I'm pretty
shoot me.
sure. Yes,
Yeah.
maybe not. No,
Maybe
I
not.
think he
Yes?
does his
No?
debut
Maybe not.
at the Battle Royal in August. I think that's his debut.
Okay, then you can at least catch him in August, on August 24th, when they're
He'll be
hosting the
around.
live
You'll see
PURR
him.
sessions.
All right. Other than that, thank you guys again for jumping on. I actually was awake and ready to go for this episode. Let's
I
go.
know, it's surprising.
Levi, you were the one that was late this time.
I was getting
Per session signing off, but we ain't saying goodbye. Keep your fans like steel reaching for the sky. Professional wrestling, we'll never let it go. Big cats in the house, bringing the rumble to the show.
He forgets that I can just do this and turn it back off. Fuck you.
Per session signing off, but we ain't saying goodbye.